I think we'll get started, right? So very warm welcome to the monthly course demo webinar. This webinar is hosted by me and my colleague Mubin. You should be joining us shortly on a month-on-month basis, preferably towards the last week of every month, mainly to give you an overview about three things. One is what is happening in the job market, what are all the trends, and what are all the latest happenings, especially when it comes to the core jobs and the core job market is concerned. That's point number one, right? Second thing, we go and discuss about because of this job market, whatever the points that we are going to share, how you can benefit, right? And how I would say our already existing students are benefiting. We'll talk about that. Then third part is about the course, right? We have running a 5-month online embedded systems course and 6 months offline embedded systems course. We'll go deep into that. We'll discuss about how the course is structured, how the course is going to get delivered to you guys. And also, especially when you are learning online, that's why I'm asking the location. Good number of you are quite remote, right? As far as, let us say, Pragyaraj or Varanasi, right? So we're quite far away. So I assume that you guys are looking for an online course. So when you are planning to do an online course, that to on embedded systems, it is likely that you have more questions, because offline students come to our office and they get to see us face to face. But online students sitting there remotely, you may have a lot of queries about, how I'm going to get my doubt cleared. Is it as effective as the offline course? How the placements work with versus online and offline students, how the hardware I'm going to get access for the online course, etc. Right? So we'll go in depth about all these aspects, and we also talk about the placement process, right? So that should be the course, summary of the three major segments. As I said, one, high-level job trends and how these job trends are going to benefit you, or how our emerging students are already benefiting. Third one, in depth about the course and placements. So these three are the segments that we are going to cover today. And typically, what for me, except for the few slide changes, majority of the slides remain the same. What makes us, me motivated towards these sessions is about the questions that you guys ask, right? And questions, if you see, this is a webinar, so you'll not be able to see each other's questions, right? All the questions are reaching me. No need to worry, because sometimes I see participants go and type the same question multiple times because they worried that whether it will reach me or not. Okay? All the questions are reaching me, but only thing, unlike the other Google Meet or anything like that, where you will not be able to see each other's messages, because this is a webinar format. So what I will do, I will take logical pauses in between these three sections, right? And then we will get your questions answered. That's point number one. Second, point number two, we will talk about, basically ensure that you guys are, only asking the questions via chat. You will not be able to even turn on the audio, right? Don't do that. Use only, ensure that you are via chat you are answering, right, or asking a question, right? And it's not necessary that you need to wait for you to ask the questions at the logical time interval. As and when the question is coming to your mind, you can type. Okay, and I will also keep accumulating these questions and ensure that all the questions remain answered. Okay, so that's going to be the protocol that we have been following. And after this webinar, we will be sending you the recorded version of this webinar. We'll do minor edits, right? Initial few minutes, we'll just cut it off, and then we will make it a little bit edited, and then we'll share you the recorded version, and that will be an open link. It's already, you can see, last few months monthly webinars are very much open link in the YouTube, and you can even forward to your friends, or if you feel that some sections you joined late, or you left early due to some network issue or power issue, can also come back and relook into those videos again. Okay, so that would be the protocol in which we'll be following in this webinar. Okay? So with that, shall we go ahead and start the webinar? Can you get some yeses from your side? Shall I go and start the webinar? Can you just type yes? So I'm getting multiple yeses. Shubham, Hemant, Nevin, Dipinshu, Madhuri, Ruba, Abhay, Saranya. Thanks a lot, guys. All right. Okay. So let me put my slide into the presentation mode. Right. So let us get started about this monthly course demo webinar. So to start with, somebody asked about my name, right? Before introducing about myself, let me introduce our organization, Emertxe. Many of you know Emertxe is an edtech company. We have been in this particular education field for the past 18 plus years. As an organization, we are aiming to solve two problems. The problem number one You can see the employability. In India, as you know, a lot of people are getting engineering degree every year. The statistics says by 2024, we'll have about 26 to 28 lakhs of engineers will be passing out. But very few percentage of them are having the employable skills, right? And even if you look at people who are getting employed, roughly about 4 to 5 lakhs engineers who are getting the campus interviews, right? Even if you look at that numbers, as I said, I was in a conference, even we had a long discussion about that. Those companies are also about the IT companies, right? People who are getting a job, they are getting into IT companies. They're not getting into core companies, especially product development companies, which where the target audience we're talking about, right? So that's one problem you would like to solve. Okay. Second problem, even some of them getting into their first job, let us say a particular IT company, their aspirations are where they want to grow in their career will not meet with what their current job is. For example, somebody would have studied electronics, but they joined a service company and doing let us say, for example, let us take some technical support job, right? Or let us say some application bug fixing or application development, right? So he or she will be thinking, hey, look, comparatively, I worked hard 4 years, but what am I doing? So those folks, unfortunately, they can't quit their jobs. And I guess some of them already told I have 3 years of experience and things like that, right? So for them, we also offer an evening option. We'll talk about it. That's what we mean by upskilling, and then we help them to change their career track, from the IT track or any. And some of them even get into marketing and sales. Some of them even get into teaching type of profiles. So when they take up this course, they not only improve their skill set, they kind of reposition themselves, right? And then get into a core job. That's a segment. And we also been working with corporate organizations to improve their skill set of their employees. That's what we call corporate training or corporate learning and development assignments. Of the late, we have been doing less because we have been quite busy with the existing assignment with our students and upskilling professionals. Okay. But we have done a good amount of work with, for example, Robert Bosch, where we've done more than 8 to 10 years. We have been their campus campus to corporate training program partner. We delivered tons of program over the years, right? So that's a brief about Emertxe. And you can see the picture there, depicting the approach that we take. Any training program, whether it's entry-level training, upskilling training, corporate training, any technology, could be simple technology or complex technology. We always take the hands-on approach. As you can see, the diagram says, right, you are trying to make a pot. You'll never learn how to make a pot without you making your hands dirty, right? And when you start making, definitely you'll do a lot of mistakes. You try to do a part, but it will eventually come out as a snake, right? Or come out as an angled part. It doesn't come out properly, right? It takes a lot of efforts and patience to get it right. You can only get it right provided you make your hands dirty, right? You cannot employ somebody and go and say, make a pot for me, right? It is your career. Consider that career is your pot. That pot is your career, right? How you are going to build it by yourself. So all the training programs that we do, we ensure that it is done in a hands-on practical way. So that's a brief about our organization. So coming to our, going on further to our leadership team, 3 of us are part of Emertxe's leadership team. Mr. Maaz, who is the founder and the managing director of Emertxe. He founded Emertxe in the year 2004, and then he's been, leading the organization. So, Maaz pretty much looks into the business side of the responsibilities. And myself, Jay Kumar, I'm one of the core leadership team member, and I have more than 20 years of work experience. I graduated in computer science from NIT Warangal. Then I worked with 3 different companies. I started my career with a startup called Ishoni Networks. Then I went to HP, where I spent 7.5 years, and then I went to Huawei for about 3.5 years. So all the 3 companies I worked on embedded software or embedded firmware, and also primarily focusing on the connectivity and networking, right, and open source Linux. These are the areas where I've been an individual contributor, senior engineer, lead engineer, project and program manager. And finally, in my role with Huawei, I was a group manager or senior manager heading their embedded Linux group, right? So that was about 12.5 years in my first 3 legs of my career. So after that, I was really passionate about education and doing something on my own. That's when I quit my corporate career and joined Emertxe as one of the core leadership team. And in Emertxe, I started in the technical side, but we have built a very big team now, which is now headed by Mubin. We have 40, I would say, numbers would have easily reached 50 by now. 50 plus full-time mentors are there who are there. So then I moved on to other responsibilities. So primarily, as of now, I handle the placement part of it and some on the business side. Okay, that's what I do in Emertxe. And as I said, every month we host this webinar. One of the other motivation of this webinar is whenever you've spoken to our counselors, right, you would have expressed your interest towards this course. You would have had a phone conversation or an email conversation. it is likely that the answers that they might have given, we may wanted to do more, right? No more. And unfortunately, to a counselor, right, they cannot spend 2 hours with one person, right? So that's also one of the reasons where we make it like an open forum, and get all your queries answered. And another beauty about webinar is, like, even if you're not asking your question, it is there in your mind, but somebody else asks the question, and the question get answered. That way, you also get clarification. So it's been very effective. Okay, this webinar, and the silver bullet of this webinar is, it is not only about our course. We are not telling her, hey, we are doing this course, come and join this course. Right? That's definitely not the idea. The idea is to give you the broader perspective about the industry, where it is heading, the opportunity that you have in this particular domain. We will talk about our course also. And ultimately, I always say, right, you are the decision maker for your career. So our responsibility today to do is to mainly make a sincere attempt to clarify your questions and let you make the decision for your career. Okay. So that way, looking forward for a lot of interaction with all the participants today. Feel free to ask any questions. In Emertxe, we say no question is a wrong question, no question is a stupid question. Every question is a good question. It will be answered to its merit. So no need to feel shy or feel anything. Anyways, it's a webinar. You still remain anonymous, right? You can keep typing the questions, right? So that's a brief about me and what we'll be doing in this today's webinar, right? So Mubin, are you there? Can you just briefly introduce yourself?
Thanks, Jay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mubin. I work as a technology head at Emertxe. So in this webinar, I'll be walking you through some of the training aspects of the embedded system course. You can feel free to ask any technical questions or any questions related to how the course is delivered, and any specific questions you have, you can ask. So about me, I'm a computer science engineer. I did my BE in computer science from AITM in Karnataka. And after that, I started my journey as a developer at Emertxe only. And I worked closer to 1.5 to 2 years at Emertxe. I got a chance to work in different technology areas, including like open source technologies, Bluetooth, EDA, Linux device drivers, and so on. From there, I moved to HP, wherein I worked in 2 teams. I worked for 4 years almost, and there I got a chance to work in a bigger team, which was responsible for developing an output management software, which is a distribution software for managing printing as well as documents. And after that, I also got an opportunity to lead a team in HP as a team lead for Linux print scan fax device drivers. And before that, also had a short stint with Novell, where I also was responsible for developing software in the open source tools, which was developed by Novell Software. I hope you might have heard about something, a Linux distribution called as OpenSUSE. So I was working for OpenSUSE and was one of the developers for that team as well. For now, I'm working as a technology head at Emertxe, and here I'm responsible for managing a set of technical mentors. So we have closer to 40 plus mentors, and we have more joining us. And our team is responsible for delivering trainings in different technologies, including embedded systems, IoT, and web application development stacks as well. So I'll be here in this webinar. So Jay Kumar will walk you through the details about the course and how it's going to benefit you. And after some time, I'll walk you through the tools available and how the training is delivered and so on. So over to you, Jay.
Thank you. Thanks for your introduction, Mubin. So that's about our leadership team. Mubin will, as I said, he will come back after some time and walk you through the delivery part of it. So let us see that one of the main reason why we have been so successful is because of the tons of clientele that we built. More than 1,200 companies are part of our clientele. All of them are core companies in the electronics domain, working on various verticals like aeronautics, consumer electronics, robotics, IoT. And in the recent days, it's more of electric vehicle, these type of domains are verticals, right? You can see there, that's a kind of a sample clientele that we have, and then the list only keeps growing. And very proudly, I can say that 80% of these recruiting companies are repeat recruiters, right? When they come in, they don't stop one-time hiring. They come back and hire from us again and again. That is important for us because they realize and they recognize the skill building activity that our team is doing. As Mubin mentioned, he has got a very big team of mentors. Because we develop this particular skill in those engineers, that's the reason why they come, right? Otherwise, they don't want to waste their time by just conducting interview or written test. So that's one of the very proud factors for us. Yes, we have built a great team of clients, but they more 80% of them are repeat companies. You can see these logos coming in again and again hiring, right? And these logos keeps changing, right? They're all becoming growing numbers only, right? And in terms of the size, we have as companies which are bigger organizations. For example, MNCs, what you call companies like Qualcomm, NXP, Infineon, Robert Bosch, YNA, Continental, these type of companies, where they have their India Development Center. They are present in multiple countries. So that's one type of companies, big companies. So other type of big companies, you can say the India headquartered companies, name it L&T, Tech Mahindra. You might be thinking them as IT service companies, while that is also true. But when they come and recruit our students, they also have a big embedded verticals. For example, L&T, right? They have a very big embedded vertical where they come and hire our students. And not only that, in the recent past, to adapt to the newer technologies, for example, the IoT kind of a new domain, right? So L&T is creating a new private limited, new companies, right? Tata has got multiple companies, right? Similarly, we have companies like L&T, Smart World Communications, and we have companies like Tata Advanced Technologies are coming and recruiting. And even if you look at the traditional manufacturing companies like Mahindra, right, they created their electric vehicle arms. So companies like Mahindra Electric come and recruit our students. And in the electric vehicle, we also have a newer band of companies like Ola Electric, Ether Energy, and then similar Oxtra Energies. These type of companies also part of our recruitment, right? So you can see a lot of these new age companies, startups, mid-size companies, big size companies. Big size again, two categories: MNCs and Indian companies are recruiting our students, right? So I'm seeing a lot of questions coming in. I'm seeing question coming from Nelvin, Tej, Kiran, Deepanshu, Saurav, right? Guys, hold on. I will definitely come back to your questions. Let me run through, as I said, logically some more slides, and then we'll take up your questions. No problem. Okay, please keep them coming. I really appreciate. I think some more people have asked the questions. I'm not. Let me scroll. I'm seeing already questions coming from Tej, Kiran, Harshita, right? So feel free. Okay, feel free to type. All the questions are reaching me. Okay? So this is about the clientele what we have. Okay. Now let us get into the job trends, right? Why there are so many jobs in the recent past, right? Especially if we talk about core segment, even though there are a lot of jobs broadly available in the market, we cannot comment on other areas, other domains. For example, machine learning or data science. We are not doing programs in that, right? But definitely we can vouch and talk about the core jobs which you're talking about, right? So before we get into the trends, right, let us see what exactly is a core. Right? This particular slide recently I have updated, because whenever I talk about core job, there's a lot of confusion among people. Right? Let us define what exactly is a core job according to us. Right? So if you look at any smart system today, anything that we add the word smart, because the devices are becoming more and more intelligent, more and more decision making capabilities are built in. And not only that, earlier and all, if you see, right, I need to integrate certain things in a bigger device. For example, I used to build, for example, I talk about my career, we are building routers and switches, right? Only those type of devices we used to call it as a device or a smart device. Now today, if you look at, right, that smart device can be anything. Okay, just yesterday I was watching the news, right? Today's webinar, I thought I will give it as an example. How many of you are aware that there is a chess Olympiad that is planned in India? Yes, no? Can I get some answers? How many of you are aware that there's a chess Olympiad planned in India? It's been planned in Chennai. Manjunatha is telling no. Okay, Rushikesh is telling yes. Hemant is telling yes. Saurav, Sweta, Saranya is telling yes. And then Maharishi is telling no. And then Rajesh is telling yes. Mamalapuram, yeah. So like ancient, there's a Pallava, this thing, right? Okay. So good number of you telling yes, good number of you telling no. That doesn't matter. If you are interested to more about chess, just go and check for chess Olympiad. You will see a lot of things, right? There are 170 plus countries, the participants are coming, and it's going to be marathon matches and things like that, right? And the most interesting thing why I'm telling about the smart device, when I say, right, today, yesterday they were explaining the entire methodology of how this event was organized. It's a news piece that was coming yesterday night. And right, there are a few hundreds of players are going to sit. There's a huge hall that has been arranged. Probably let us say 50, 100, 200 players are going to sit. And there'll be two players, obviously in chess they're playing, right? And the way how they designed the chessboard, okay, was the topic of, what I mean by smart device, right? So they said under every, what you call whether you call rook or a horse or or a coin, right, or a pawn or whatever, right? Under everything they have integrated a sensor, right? And then that entire chessboard is having a network connectivity, right? And then this particular network connectivity, it is getting into directly a centralized server, and that centralized server, it will track, in which board, which player who is making what moves, right? Because measuring the moves is very important. Not only that, for people like you and me, right? I'm not a chess enthusiast, even though I used to play in my school days. But some of you are chess enthusiasts. If you want to watch, suppose you are interested in player A and player B, right? How they're playing. You can open your website, right? There you'll get a live, picture about who is moving which coin or which move that they're making, right? So that they're able to make it because they're able to capture the live movements or live action that each player is performing. Fundamentally, if you see why they're able to do that, under a small coin or under a particular queen or a king, right? Under that, they're able to mount a sensors, right? So earlier, what was called as a chessboard, today we say it's a smart chessboard, right? Okay, and then integration of smart software, cloud, etc., coming in together. You can even say this is an IoT use case, embedded use case, and things like that, right? So what I'm trying to say is, any smart devices, like told an example of a chessboard, it consists of two major components. One is hardware, obviously you all will know, right? And then we also have the software part of it, right? Okay. And hardware, if you see, again, subsequently, software, if you see, it can be divided into an application software or a system software. Application software, going back to the same example of chess tournament which I said, right? A software which kind of gives you the interface of a web, right, where you can log in, select the table, select the player, and then see how they're playing, right? Or you want to look into the points table, right, and who is winning where, right? So this is more of an application software. But there is also a software which sits more closer to the hardware. For example, sensing which player is moving which coin, right, and then transmitting that information to a centralized server, right? So that is what we mean by system software, which works closer to the hardware. Some of them will use it as use the word like firmware, embedded software, core software, right? So that's what we are talking about, right? That's going to be our focus, right? In the similar lines, if you look at the hardware, there are again two components coming into picture. One is what he calls the chip design, okay, or the board or the other hardware design, right? Even if you're talking about the same example, right, manufacturing a particular sensor, or even if you want to mount a small controller into a smart parking system or any other system, so that is nothing but the processor or the CPU creation. That is nothing but the VLSI design, and you need to have some circuitry where you need to mount all these things. That's what you call it, the board design, right? So there are four components at a high level: hardware, software. Then again, software is into application software, system software. Similarly, hardware is into chip design and the board design. So there are four major pieces coming in, right? So now, what are we talking about? Our focus is going to be entirely on the software. That is nothing but the core software or the system software we are going to talk about, right? So what is a small piece of software which you can embed inside that particular chessboard, as in the tiny sensor or a small device which sits below that particular coin that you're moving in a chessboard? How it is going to measure that particular movement, because there is a physical movement whenever the player moves, and how it transmits that into a centralized server, and that's where the embedded software that comes into picture. So this is a definition. So we're not going to talk about how many jobs are there in VLSI, how many jobs are there in IT, right? Etc. So our focus is going to be on the software. But having said that, this particular software you cannot write without the knowledge of the hardware. So let us take another example of writing a web application. When you're writing a web application, you don't need to know about the hardware. You write a JavaScript, Java, any such application programming languages, you can just code and you can run it in the browser, it will run. But in order for you to run this particular embedded software or core software, you need to know what is there in that particular hardware. For example, how the sensor, how do I read the data from the sensor? How do I write the data into the where do I send? What are the protocols that is required? How do I send the data so that the receiver will receive properly, right? And then if I'm using a microcontroller, how do I read the data sheets? Which API to use, right? So I need to have a good knowledge about hardware, also about the software. That's why this particular software job is relatively challenging than learning an application software. Okay, that's what we are going to define, right? Are we there in the same page? Can I get some some responses. Are we in the same page with respect to core job? Do you have this? Let us have the same understanding. Okay. Magarish is telling yes, sir. Hemant is telling yes, sir. Mubashir is telling yes, sir. I need some more yeses. Then we have Pradishan, Saranya, Manjunath, Nirup. Great. Because this is important because when you're planning to search or when you're planning to build a career in a particular domain, you need to know, right, which domain you are going to play. Are you going to play a cricket match? You need to know the rules of the game. Are you going to play T20? Are you going to play test match? Are you going to play one day match? Right? Are you're going to be a bowler, batsman, all-rounder, wicketkeeper? So you need to be defined. Are you need to be clear about the problem statement? So our problem statement is how can you skill yourself so that you can become a core software development engineer or a software test engineer in the embedded software, core software, or the firmware. This is the problem statement, right? Now, you all know that, it is powering everything. I just told an example of chess, which is happening in India. I thought that will be more relevant example for all of you to relate. Like that, you can apply to anywhere, like smart cities. You can say, it's energy management, or you can talk about, automotive, electric vehicles, right? Robotics, tons of applications are there, right? So that's the definition. Now let us talk about the job trends, right? When it comes to job trends, there are many trends are there according to us in Emertxe because we have been very closely working with the students. We are seeing the 5 job trends, which is going to make sense for a person like you. Okay. What is the first trend, right? The first trend we are seeing is, right, the MNCs are the companies which are having worldwide, operations, right? And also India specific companies like, Mahindra Electric or Ola Electric, right? These type of organizations are looking forward to hire engineers who are beyond IITs and NITs. Right? If we go back few years and check, I myself come from HP, Mubin comes from HP, right? During my HP days, it was very clear they will have a pre-listed set of companies, campuses where they go and hire. So as with so many other companies in the logos in the screen, right? Logos in the screen. Now what they're doing is they are basically open to go beyond the IITs and NITs, and they, and a tech company like us are very much sought after. I'll tell you the reason why it is happening, why it was not happening few years back, why it is happening. There are again 2 reasons. Reason number 1, as I told in the beginning, right? This embedded system software skill is relatively hard to obtain. Now, it's not only about software, you need to have the hardware knowledge as well. So that skill is relatively complex to learn. Okay. That's why you can see, right? Service company, they hire in bulk. Okay, for example, few hundred, few thousand, they hire in some campuses. The reason why they hire in bulk is because they can train anybody. Because it's only a software only. It's not necessary that somebody need to know about the hardware, etc. Right? So that's the reason they hire in bulk. So what is happening to these companies? They used to go and hire in IITs and NITs, some of the top-notch engineering colleges. Right now, what is happening in those colleges is the good number of the crowd are moving towards startups in India. Right? As you know, India has become a land of startups, especially cities like Bangalore. Right? If you go there, you will find good number of you are from Bangalore. Right? In India today, it is not necessary that you need to work for a big company. Today, people of your age, 21, 22-year-old, you all want to explore the world. You are very much open to work for startups, right? So there is a huge crowd from IITs and NITs moving to the startups, and these kind of companies are not able to recruit as many as they used to from these top-notch institutions, right? So what they come at the same time, they cannot go to a tier 2 college, tier 3 college where majority of you are graduated from. There they can get the IT skill, or even if they don't get a skill, they can come and train them, right? But embedded is a skill which is hard to get in those tier 2, tier 3 colleges, and also it is hard to train. Very simple example being, just look at how many IT training institutes you have, right? That's the reason why I asked you the question, where and all you are joining from, right? All of you told about different cities and towns in India. Just go and see any small town you are from, right? I grew up in a small town. If you go and see, even today, people have institutes and say Java, .NET, right? MySQL, some are DevOps these days, right? Some topics they'll put. But you will never see an embedded training institute, right? I'm talking about 2 points. One, IITs, NIT students are going and working for startups. And these companies cannot go to tier 2 because the tier 2 students is not ready. It's very hard for them to train like IT. So what is happening because of these 2 reasons, an institute like us or a company like us becomes very much, whatever they want, we provide. So it's like, win-win situation. So that's the reason all the major logos that you see in the screen and many more are regularly recruiting our students. So this is trend number 1, right? Let us also see how our students getting benefited shortly. I'll come and talk about it after I walk through the trends, right? Second one, all of us are aware, remote working is a new normal, even though thankfully we're all out of pandemic, hopefully, right? Okay. So still some numbers come up, and then we still, things seems to be okay. People who are getting, even some of my friends who got recently tested positive, it's not as scary as how it was sometime last year before or something. So, but having said that, companies are still not 100% into their full-time working model, right? They're still following a hybrid working model. So which means, say what, a company which is based out of US or UK, for them getting the work done from India, it has become much more comfortable because everybody is used to remote working now. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you sit in California and work, or whether you sit in Bangalore and work, or you go to a small village somewhere in West Bengal and work, right? Doesn't matter, right? So companies are comfortable in remote working, which means to say more work is moving to India. Okay? Especially big companies, mid-sized companies, they're all moving more work to India. Or even if you look at other challenges which the world is facing, Russia-Ukraine war, I don't know how many of you are aware, Ukraine is one of the most sought after software destinations similar to India prior to the war, right? Now, because of this war, unfortunately for them, but fortunately for us, that type of work is also moving to India, right? So this is some of the advantages of remote working, which more work is coming up, right? Third one, as I already mentioned, we are seeing new trends in the technology as such. For example, electric vehicle is one major phenomenon. And if you look at electric vehicles, of course, company like Tesla are there who is making such a smart cars in the US, right? But if you look at the Asian countries which are based in the eastern side of the world, even if you take China, India, sorry, Thailand, Singapore, these type of countries, right? We are still a two-wheeler driven country, right? And in a two-wheeler, electrical two-wheeler, India has got a lot of opportunity to become the world leader, similar to how they become a world leader with respect to petrol-based two-wheelers, right? These organizations are already gaining up, including the new age companies like Ola Electric, or the existing traditional manufacturing company like Mahindra Electric, which I showed as an example, who's been our regular recruiter, by the way, right? Are gearing up. So this is opening up new opportunities. Second opportunity or second technology trend, what I'm seeing is that with respect to the machine learning and the data science, right? Often there is a lot of gaga goes around this, right? Everybody talks about machine learning, but one thing, please be aware that the machine learning or artificial intelligence, right, can only happen, if they have a data set. Now I have a data set. Let us say I want to predict something, or I want to analyze something. I can only do that only I have the data set. Then only I can run the various machine learning algorithms or models and then come up with a prediction, right? But if you look at these sensors, right, let me go back to the example of chess player itself, right? You wanted to, for example, every day there are 150 games are happening or 100 games are happening. I want to get the data. Then only I can make a prediction. Hey, who will win, or who is making faster moves, who is aggressively winning, etc., right? So where do I get the data? Going back to the same chessboard example, the sensors are the one which is sending you the data. So similarly, if you talk about Industry 4.0, right? If you talk about electric vehicles, right? Everywhere the sensors are the small piece of electronics has become the source where the data is getting generated. So the machine learning algorithms are applied on that, right? Because these algorithms cannot operate independently without data. Right? The data, the sensors or electronics has become a key portion of it. That is point number 2, right? Third one, because of pandemic and many other reasons, the entire world is moving towards digitization and automation, right? Be it using a robot, right, or improving their efficiency using certain tools and techniques and certain, without human intervention, right? So that is also driving a lot of jobs. This is more of a technology trend, as we saw, right? We are seeing 3 trends so far. First one was more of a demography or what is happening in India. Second one, we saw a global trend where remote working has become a possibility. Third one, we are talking about the technology trend. So, as a combination of these things only, we are seeing more jobs. So let us move on. Fourth one, I think you guys know this better than me. The industry academia gap in India. There are more than 25 lakhs graduates are coming up. You can see in the top of the pyramid. I said 28 lakhs. I'm sorry, it's a 31 lakhs graduates are going to get passed out by the year 2024. That's the projected number. And you can see the number of engineers getting recruited, a number of students getting higher studies, right? Which means to say roughly about 26 lakhs. That's the number. I think I got confused. The 26 either 26 lakhs of students are available every year to be skilled. They are looking for a job, right? So it's a huge challenge here due to the industry academia gap. because the engineering college have mushroomed and they are mainly imparting the theory-based subjects. So if you ask all of you, you all would have studied BTech, good number of you studied MTech, right? And you would have studied 40 papers, 45 papers in those 4 years of engineering. Predominantly, it is still taught in a theoretical fashion. So that's why when you finish engineering, your marks card looks good, but you are not ready to be employed, especially when it comes to core companies, right? And last one, some of you would have heard these trends, especially in India. There are still some more demographic advantage post-pandemic. More the manufacturing has gone through a huge challenge, because of which companies are not able to produce as many chipsets or as many boards that they want to produce. Partly because the production has gone slow, and companies also looking to build an alternative for China. As you know, there are a lot of for geopolitical things happening with respect to China. And India already being a software capital, or software of one of the key areas where the software is getting developed. It's also moving into producing manufacturing chipsets. Some of you will know already, Mysore is already identified to manufacture the fabrication or the chipset, right? So which is also going to generate more jobs, right? You can see some of the numbers there in terms of R&D centers, the government investment that is going to come in, and also the number of jobs it is going to generate. Okay? So these are all the high level trends, 5 trends we saw, right? The MNCs are hiring beyond IITs and NITs. Remote working is a new normal. Then we saw new age domains bringing more jobs. Then we saw industry academia gap, and then the India electronics story. And these are all the trends, right? Now you may be questioning me that sir, what about suppose I these type of trends, how does it matter to me, right? I'm an entry level engineer, I want to have a career, so how does it matter to me, right? So let me show you some numbers about how this is benefiting to our students, right? So this is the numbers that we wanted to show. You can see in 2022 we have been having consistently 100 plus companies are hiring our students every month, right? They're all participating in our recruitment. And as you know, right, 2021 days is what working day, and you're not able to schedule all the companies, right? If you look at July, right, we still have another week to go. We are already done 85 drives. That's why you can see the numbers is because we still have one more week to go. And people who are attending for the second time or third time, right, they want to have a very magnified look into I'm showing a different data. Don't worry, the data is different. I'll add to whatever is being discussed so far in the past months, right? You can see consistently what are the 5 factors, whatever mentioned in the previous set of mention, right? Now that is getting translated directly into opportunities our students are getting, right? And that opportunity is a very big deal, because if you compare last 2 years, that is 2020 and 21, compared to that, the number of opportunities, this is the number of drives that is happening. Previously I said company visiting, but it's not all of them we are able to schedule due to the time crunch that we have. Let us say 100 companies in 20 days, right? 5 drives per day is not feasible, right? So some other companies move to the next month, right? So like that, if you see, the number of drives that we've been doing, you can see that there are 3 colors there. Especially the blue ones are nothing but the drives which has happened in the year 2020. Especially if you see the March, April timelines, right? That has gone low, because that is the time when the first wave hit and companies started moving their workforce, right? In April, and it's very, very difficult for us, right? And this graph we have been open from day, ever since pandemic is it. I'm showing this graph in every student meeting, every external webinar that we host, right? But if you look at the 2021 was much better. The red color, towers you can see, especially if you look at the 2021 second half of 2021, where we can see more companies are coming in terms of 40s and 50s in terms of the number of drives. But 2022 is a green towers, right? You can see, right? It's been really a dream run. A lot of companies are coming. For example, 51 drives have already completed in this month, and another 1 week is going. Definitely to go another 15, 20 we'll be able to add, right? And out of those hundreds, let's say we are able to do like say 65, 70, next 20 or 30 will move to the next month. So this is the reason where how the trend is translating into number of companies visiting, and how it is translating into the number of drives that is happening in Emertxe, right? Now, when these type of opportunities are presented to our students, right? Of course, these companies come to us because they get a skilled engineers. As I said, they come to us because it's not a generic IT skill. They come to us because of the specific skill. And Mubin will talk about how we go about skilling that. But when this kind of opportunity is presented against the student who are skilled, right, they're able to produce results. Okay, so let me share you the last June, July. There is some month mentioning issue was there. So let me just show you. So some data. So this is the data from the month of June and July. As I said, there is some confusion about June and July. Some of the placements happened in July. Then some of them mentioned mistakenly in June, still mentioned in June, even though it's happened in July. Okay, but you know, this is the kind of a broad view, and you know, this is just a snapshot I'm showing, right? And you can go check out our social media, check out our website. All the data is presented openly, right? Our placement data is transparent to everyone, not only for our students. Anybody who wanted to come, you know, some of you are attending second time to really do a double check on me, right? I know you are doing that. So this is data. Anytime you have asked me, the data will remain always transparent, right? So these are some of the. So I'm going to show the data in two sets. One set of students are the ones who are freshers. So when I say in the definition of freshers, we say the current year of pass out and the previous year. As I said, 2022 is still not out yet. They're still doing the final thing. So we are not considering. I think only tomorrow we are going to start a batch where the 2022 is going to come, and they'll take anywhere another 3-4 months for them to get ready. So as of today, let us say freshers has 2021 and 2020. Okay. Let me repeat, for us as of today, fresher definition means you are a 2020 pass out or a 2021 pass out. So these set of students, what I'm going to show, are the ones who achieve the results there from a 2020 and 2021 pass out. Then I have one more set who are from the previous batch. I'll come to that, right? You can see students, students like Likit who are getting placed in, a company like NXP, right? And we also have more, automotive companies hiring, name it Continental, Vitesco, Weini. And now recently we have this another German-based automotive company, Electrorbit, where a student like Supriya are getting these type of results. What is there, right? And we have students like Irfan. LG has been our regular recruiter again, who is again in that batch of 6 lakhs kind of a pay bracket. Again, these students, you can see some of them are online students, some of them are offline students, right? The results are coming in all directions, right? Similarly, we have Navyasri, he's an online student getting this type of an opportunity. And we have, I think this is a major, I think this is June data, because July we had one more selection in the similar package by another student. Unfortunately, I could not get the picture yet. It's getting ready. My team takes some time to assemble these pictures, right? One more student got placed, I think, last week or so, with a similar package in Qualcomm, 20+ lakhs, right? Similar type of numbers, similar to Sivakaran Shastri. Okay. And NXP has been our regular recruiters who has been recruiting our students around 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs, around that package, who, this time around we are able to even place our student at a even higher package. You can see, right, NXP has gone up to 13.1 lakhs, 19 kind of salary, right? This type of results we are able to see. And as I mentioned, electrical vehicle companies continue to hire. Mahindra Electric has become our regular recruiter. You can see students like, Mahesha getting placed there. Similarly, we have, Nayana getting placed there, right? So, and of course, Honeywell is our regular recruiter, which is another major MNC, right? Where students like Sivan Esan are getting placed about 6 lakhs per annum, right? So this is a snapshot, okay, of our students who are achieving this type of salaries, and much more are there. You can, as I said, go look into our social media, right? This is one set of people. Now, when I started this presentation itself, all the other students are putting in, especially students from the older batch. They will have more heart pumping because they still not landed in a good job, or their career is not settled. Either they don't have a job, they would have tried. For example, what happens, right? When you finish your engineering, you go and try about your GATE exam, or you try your public sector exam, or you go and do a job not related to embedded, but your career is still not settled, right? Or we have a lot of girl students who take break due to marriage, pregnancy, etc. Right? So you're not still settled in your career, and you're looking forward to resume your career, right? So we have good number of success stories coming from that category also. Let me show you what has happened in the last month or two. Okay. So this data, what I'm going to show, as I said, the previous one was students who achieved their salary from the year 2020 and 2021, right? So these students, what I'm showing, their pass out anywhere from 2019 and above, 19, 18, 17, 16. We even gone up to, I think, 2012, right? We've gone up to 2012, 2011, right? That's a kind of a 10 years back pass out people, right? They're able to get placed. So here are some of the details. I don't remember their exact year of pass out, okay? But be rest assured they're 2019 or above, Okay, we have students like getting placed for premium salaries like Rakshana into Chelsea Communications. Okay, and then similarly we have Kumar into Honeywell, 7 lakhs package, right? Mahindra Electric, as you can see, right? I show some example in the previous slide. Similarly, they're also hiring for older batches, right? And then automotive companies, they continue to hire students like Harish are getting into, Continental. If you look at the majority of the automotive companies are German based, be it Automotive Continental, Electronic System, which is shown in the previous slide, okay. Pioneer, Vitesco, all those things companies do hire. Okay. And then another company like Softnautics, where Rohit is able to get placed. He's an online student of us. And then Honeywell again, we have Musa Qasim. I think Musa Qasim belongs to even more older batch, maybe 2015, 14, I don't know, very, very old batch, right? And then NXP, it is not necessary that only new batch students are achieving. Even you can see students like Nidhi, they're able to achieve the results, right? So, and then recent one has been Joseph, right? He's got another job with an Netad, I think is more of a IoT company, where he got a job for 5.5 lakh salary, right? So the point I'm trying to show here is a snapshot where whether you are an online or an offline doesn't matter. Point number one, right? Second thing, whether you are from a recent era pass out or you are from an old era pass out, that also doesn't matter, right? Whether you can, let us say, for example, I'm a 2018 pass out, last 3 years I didn't do anything here, or I tried some GATE exam, for example, on case, right? So no problem. Because please understand that companies, when they come and recruit from us, right, they come and recruit from us because of the skill set our students are bringing to the table, right? Not because of era pass out or not because of the percentage that these students are bringing in, right? So, and by the way, statistically, we also know every month on month, we in my monthly meeting, I run graphs, or I do a filtering in Excel and show it to our students, and month which and all company, that much amount of deep dive will not be able to do today because it will take even more longer time. And we also observe that 40% of these companies, right, they say you can find from any era pass out and any percentage, right? Let us say I'm from a 2009 batch. Okay, 40% of them are telling, okay, you can be from any era pass out. You can be from a teaching background, you can be from IT background, you're working, you wanted to shift, right, to a domain, nothing matters. For them, what matters is how you are going to build your skill set as a part of the Emertxe course and how your resume looks by the end of the course or once you start applying for placements. So they come here for the skills, not for your era percentage or era percentage, or it doesn't matter you're an online student or offline students, right? Because almost all the recruitment is happening online, except for a few companies. They call final round or sometimes they call to their office to do a. Recently, I think in next week's happened that they had some network issue or there's somebody was not well or something like that. So they called at least few students for the final round to their office, right? And they were available. So we sent them, they were from Bangalore, Mysore. We sent them, right? They could go and attend. So except for that, you don't need, there is no factor, era pass out, percentage, location, online, offline, doesn't matter. All it matters is how well you are able to build your skills and how your resume looks. Okay, so that's a bottom line. Okay, I would like to pause here. I know a lot of questions have already come here. Let me take one by one. Let me just go up. So there's a message from Abhay. I think I'll read from his number. First time he's attending. I want to switch my domain in embedded systems looking forward. As you can see, Abhay, right? A good number of them, especially the older batch students, are from similar background. In fact, some of them are working and doing our evening class. I'll talk about the timings and all in the subsequent slides, right? So they take up this course in the evening class and achieve their career transition. I hope this is good enough. And Hemant Kumar MM, I think you are asking a lot of questions related to the course, how you will get shortlisted, etc. This is not the right forum to ask. You are already our students. So please talk to our student success manager. I hope you know Kavyashree is the student success manager. Send an email to support@emertxe.com. Her number is there with all of you. So please reach out to her. Right. This is more for an external folks who wanted to know about the course. So our discussion will be more external centric. Internal centric, how the shortlisting works based on module list or something. How much did I score in my module test, etc. So please talk to Kavyashree. Okay. This is not this. If you do this, then we are deviating. It's not that I cannot answer, or come on the monthly meeting. Anyways, in another 2-3 days, you'll meet me for the monthly meeting. Please come and ask the question there. So then there's a question from Arshita. She's saying, so I'm working night shift from 3 p.m. to 12 p.m. Okay. Can I be able to 12 p.m.? I'm a little bit confused here. Are you referring to 12 a.m. UK time, Harshita? Will there be any batch from 9:30 a.m.? Can you manage both, right? See, in our online class, we have two options. One option, ideally, we recommend for working professionals who are working from 9 to 6 to come in the evening slot. And we also have an online option which is happening in the daytime, morning 9:30, 11:30 will be the classes, right? Anyways, in the subsequent slides, I will show you the timings, etc. You can check those and then see what matters to you, right? Can I manage both? I would say it is in your hands, because working people always have this challenge of managing their work priorities and doing our course. And by the way, the course that we are going to this our course, embedded systems course, subsequently Mubin will talk in detail about that. It is a very intense course. Just by attending 2 hours of class, your career change will not happen. You need to spend a good amount of time working in assignments and projects. That's why whatever the people in the screen whom we are seeing, they are able to achieve the success story because they worked hard towards it. So please ensure that you're able to give dedicated time. And yes, it is challenging, right? Especially for working people, it will be challenging. Nothing will come so easily, right? But the point is, as long as you're ready to put the efforts, definitely results will come. There's no doubt about it. Okay. So timing wise, just hold on. I will do that. Okay. I am passed out in 2019. Will I place for a good company? Will there be 100% placement? I think these success stories, what I showed Harshita, recent this series of slides, they're all people like you. If they can do it, why not you? I will put that. Okay. And then I have a big question coming from Tej Kiran. Let me read this question. So Tej Kiran is telling, sir, good evening. Tej Kiran, 2019, already done embedded system from 2019 and 2020. Due to COVID effect, I did not get opportunity. Finally got job in HCL working in infra 2020. I'm trying to switch to embedded IoT side. So possibility is there for me to grab opportunity in embedded and IoT field plus 2019 pass out. Yeah, similar question to what Harshita has asked before. Whatever the success stories are people like you, as long as you focus on skill building, definitely you achieve the career break, right? Hope that's clear. Harshita and Tej Kiran, just type once whether it's clarified your question. Or if you still have more questions, please type it in the bottom. I'm just going, from a top down. Then Tej Kiran IoT is telling. Then Nevin is telling, I am a non-IT professional, mechanical engineer, 2017 pass out. Is it possible for me to learn in 5 months? This is another interesting question, right? I am not even from a circuit branch. I did not study electrical, electronics, instrumentation. I have studied mechanical engineering, right? Can I get placed, right? Absolutely, yes. Okay, because this particular course, as some of our students will tell more than me telling, right? Our course starts from the scratch. It does not assume any background. If you have that background, well and good. If you studied something, it is well and good, but it is not mandating that you should be coming from that type of a background, right? Guys, I think there's some bandwidth issue here. My video is little lagging. I will turn off the video for some time, and then I'll come back. Let me go off the video. Okay, I will come back after some time. Looks like there is a bandwidth issue here, right? So, coming back to Nelvin's question, right? Okay, I'm a mechanical engineer. Can I get placed? Obviously, yes. In fact, we are placing mechanical engineer. We already placed good number of mechanical engineers. I would be, you'll be surprised if I say we even place civil engineers. I think a couple of weeks back, we had our first civil engineer who taken this course and got a job into core company. You can look up to the Google, right? Go and check what he has written. You'll get to know, right? Absolutely possible. But yes, we need your cooperation. Be sincere with your assignment and projects. Then definitely possible, right? Then we have Deepanshu saying, I'm a 2020 EC batch student. Want to start my career in course. How much time it will take to be good in this domain, having no prior knowledge of embedded course? As I said, Deepanshu, assuming that you are opting for an online course, it will easily take 5 months, right? If you can put your effort, definitely you will see the results. No doubt about that. Okay. Then we have Saurav Mishra. What about ARM embedded technologies, right? I'm not sure whether you are talking about ARM as an instruction set or ARM as a company. Maybe Saurav can clarify me. If you're talking about ARM as an instruction set, that is being taught in our embedded Linux on ARM, where it is one of the modules we call ILAM module. But if you're asking about ARM as a company, is it recruiting? The answer is no. ARM is still not part of our placement client yet. Hopefully, we'll bring them soon. Okay, hope that's clear. Then Harshita is telling, so I'm having 3 years of gap. Will I get definitely placed? Yes, Harshita. I did not talk about that part, right? Good number of the students have a year gap, or they worked in something not related to embedded, etc., etc. There is definitely a possibility that you will get placed, right? As I said, only thing is you need to be following the assignment and project. As long as you follow them, definitely no issues. Okay. Let me go down and check more questions are there. Okay. So Rushikesh is saying, the course in embedded system provides a job in electronic vehicle technology. Of course, Rushikesh, as I showed you an example here, good number of our students are getting placed in a company like Mahindra Electric. Similar electric vehicle companies are coming up. So because if you look at the electric vehicle as an entire entity, good amount of electronics goes there, good amount of embedded software that goes there. So definitely EV is one field where you can look forward for your career building. Then Rishikesh is asking, while performing online lab sessions, are we becoming strong in practical? That's a good question, Rishikesh. I would like you to be a little bit patient, right? Because Ubin will be covering, right? When I'm learning online, how do I get my practical exposure, right? Especially when I say practical with the hardware boards in it, how it is going to work, right? Give me some time, Ubin will clarify, and he will also showcase how this is going to work. Right? Then Ajay is telling, I'm a triple E graduate, no background of C programming. Can I get your suggestions? Yes, as I already mentioned, Ajay, all our modules start from the scratch. We don't, have any background that is expected, right? As long as you are following, definitely you will get placed, no problem. So Harshita is clarifying 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. Okay, maybe UK time is what you are talking about, Harshita. No problem. So you can join our daytime course. 9:30, 11:30, 2:30 will be the classes, right? You can choose the daytime. What do you call your online course? Okay, I'll show you the timing shortly. Okay. So Rushikesh is asking, do you providing a soft skills practice? Yes, we run something called as a series of workshops called as Disha workshops, where we'll be covering how to build a resume, how to face interviews, and our mentors keep conducting mock interviews time to time, which will prepare you for the interviews. Yes, the soft skill practice is included in our overall course. Right? So the Manoj is asking, sir, I'm a professional, so I'm asking. I plan this course for online. What's your personal suggestion? Online better or offline better? So Manoj, that purely depends on your preference, right? As a learner, it purely depends on the learner, and as a learner, what is more comfortable to you, right? So some students will be comfortable with the online, some students will be comfortable with the offline. But as far as we are concerned, I know both the courses are same in terms of whether you call it as a course effectiveness, you call it as a placement results, right? It's the same. It purely depends on the learner. Some will say, sir, I'm comfortable, I can sit at home, I want to learn. Some will say, no, sir, I want to come, see the mentor, see them personally, face to face, I want to interact. That is another student preference. So we leave it to you. But as far as we are concerned, neither you talk about the course delivery quality or the placement opportunities, it's the same. Okay. Since Rajesh is asking, sir, I am switched to change the domain. I am working professional. Can you suggest a time and batch? I'll come to the timing, Rajesh, because we still not gone into the details of the course. We'll definitely talk about the timing. Right? Abhay is telling roadmap for embedded systems. How much strong C programming required? Because I don't have knowledge of C. So Abhay, C programming plays a very important role. In fact, C is a highly used programming language in embedded system programming. You have to develop a very in-depth, knowledge about C. Our course, if you ask me, our key focus is on C programming. In fact, C is the longest module. Some of them will, say, why are we doing that? It's mainly to get that kind of in-depth coverage so that you can be successful when you get selected. But coming back to your question, C programming is like a bread and butter for an embedded engineer. In case if you feel that you're not confident of your programming skills, or if you're not having the depth, no problem. Come and whatever mentors are telling, follow that. So definitely you will get into a good results, right? Okay. So Rohit is telling, sir, I am from Triple E finally student. All right. So Manjunatha is telling, I trust Emertxe, sir. Some of my seniors got a good job, right? Yeah. See, this is the point that I'm trying to get it here, right? Because if you see, a majority of the questions that is coming from, okay, it is all because of the lack of confidence or lack of worry. Rather, you are really concerned about that, right? Okay, and so you are really worried, will it work for me? Has people like me have done it or not? That's why I'm trying to show some data points month on month, in these webinars, right, to ensure that or give you the proof that people from similar background of yours, right? And by the way, all these kids, you can see the college names, right? They're not coming from any high-fi colleges. They all come from similar colleges like you studied. It is possible, right? I'm happy that Manjunatha is using the word like I trust Emertxe, right? Without trust, we would not be existing for 18 years, right? So Faria is telling, I'm a 2020 pass out and I'm not working. Will I get placed? Definitely yes, right? Whether you're working, not working, doesn't matter at all. Okay. Then Rohit is telling, sir, I want searching any type of internship. How you help me and support in getting placement? See, I don't know, Rohit, you are confused. Are you looking for an internship or a course? If you can write, it will be helpful. Then Mahesh is asking, say, I done diploma in ENC, can I move with embedded systems course, right? So there is one constraint here, Mahesh, with respect to the qualification of the our students. All the recruiting companies would expect you to have a minimum BTech or a MTech degree, right? So that way, if you're a diploma, even if you have work experience, doesn't have work experience, they don't allow you to apply for placements. So if you're a diploma, even let's say you are an MCA or MSc electronics, they're still not open. If you're BTech, MTech, you are from any branch, you can apply. So for diplomas and MScs and MCAs, we cannot commit placements. Of course, you can do the course, no problem, right? But when it comes to, what do you call, allowing you to the placements, companies are not preferring yet. Hopefully, they will open the door soon, right? Okay. Ruba Manigandan, I think you already, attended the course. I think question is coming from similarly that I'm a 2017 pass out and 2 years of work experience, had a career break from 2020. I could see some in the mail that some of the companies are asking for 2018 and future years of work. If I'm interested in apply for that company, will I be able to apply for that? Yes, that's correct, right? So what I'm saying is like 40% of them are telling you can be from any year of pass out, right? Okay, so in terms of you getting opportunity, there won't be any issues at all. I'm telling you, for not only 2017, you can be from any year of pass out. 40% of them are hiring. From 17, 18, you'll get much more, definitely, right? So I don't see any issues of you getting an opportunity at all. Only thing is you need to build your skills. Your year gap, year of pass out. I did my BTech, I did something, I took a break, right? No issue at all. Okay. And then again, a question from Likit. I'm from mechanical background. Will top company consider for placement opportunities respect to the branch? Absolutely, yes. Companies again don't care for the branch, right? Rajesh is asking, I'm a 2012 pass out. How much time will it take for offline course? So offline course, Rajesh, it's a 6 months course. It is slightly longer than the online one. Online is planned for 5 months. Offline is planned for 6 months. Then Rakesh is asking, mentors who are going to teach us, are they full-time mentors or guest mentors? Oh, this is a very interesting question, right? So, all the mentors who are teaching are full-time mentors. In fact, in Emertxe, we don't have a concept of part-time mentors. We have, as I said, 40 plus mentors are there. The numbers are already increased by 50. Okay, some of them, we continue to add more mentors into our team. All the mentors are full-time mentors, and whatever the subjects they are teaching, they have an in-depth hands-on exposure to that particular topic. Okay, so and what subjects they will be teaching, give sometime technical portion will cover. Hope that's clear, Rakesh. Okay. So and Pradeshin is telling, sir, I'm working, sometimes I couldn't attend my classes regularly, whether I'll get any additional sessions to clear my doubts. If I miss classes, will it affect at the time of interview? Let me answer in two ways, Pradeshan. First and foremost thing is, if you miss your classes, it is going to be very hard. Will it affect placements? Yes, it will affect placements. Okay, because it's not a theory session where you attend that and you miss it, it's okay, right? It's all 100% focus is on the hands-on. You ensure that you learn things practically. So that way, anyone, whether it's a fresher, working professionals, we don't recommend you to be absent for any sessions for that matter. Point number one. Point number two, worst case scenario, due to certain things, if I'm not able to make it up, okay, we will give you the recorded sessions, all the classes, whatever is going to get taught, we will show you later. We'll be giving you an access to something called learning management system, a portal where you can log in and get all the details you are looking for, right, including the recorded video, right? So suppose today is a class, tomorrow, day after, you'll get the recorded sessions. You will try to make it up with that. Okay, that's the mechanism. In order to clear your doubts, we'll not be able to clear you specifically. There's a doubt clearing channels available. Mubin again will explain in his session. you can definitely get your doubts clarified in case if you miss, no problem. Okay? But bottom line, we don't at all encourage you missing anybody, whether you're working, fresher, you're still in college. We don't encourage you missing any classes for that matter. Hope that's clear. Then Bharati is asking, so I want to join the July batch, sir. How can I take in admissions, right? So Bharati, I will towards the end I will share you my counselor team's coordinates. You can get in touch with them. They will tell you the further details of admission. Mentors, who are all going to teach us? Are they full-time mentors, guest mentors? Again, Rakesh, I answered your question already. Then there is a question from Bushra Jamadar. Sir, if it is offline, then where we can attend the class? So if you want to join for an offline class, you need to come to our office. Our office is located in MG Road in Bangalore. You need to come here and attend. Okay. Rohit is asking internship, sir. I passed out in BTech 2023. So Rohit, in that case, if you're looking for an internship for the college grads, we run 4 weeks of free internship program, primarily targeted towards the third year students like you. Just go to our website and check. You will be able to see the, in the main screen, so there is a 1 month free internship. You need to clear a test and we'll award that internship for free. Okay, go and register. We kickstarted that free internship program last month. We should be doing the next one soon. You can wait for it and then you can apply for that. Okay. Then there's a question from Sagar. So after getting job, can I learn more on embedded system? What will be the future of embedded systems, right? I think Sagar, that will be very long topic if I explain what and all will be coming in embedded systems. But if you can see very simple way, any smart device that you have today, it is available or built using the embedded system, right? Okay, that's why it's only going to grow. Embedded systems, right? So Ajay is telling, sir, will the online class complete in 5 months? When could I attend Disha workshop? Oh, okay, you already know the word Disha workshop. We'll talk about it, Ajay. Give me some time. We're not gone to the course side yet. Okay. Girish is telling, sir, working in night shift, can I attend main classes? But lab session I cannot attend. Can I watch recording classes? So I think I already clarified. If you cannot attend lab sessions, right, you will not get placements. Let me be very clear and open about it. Because it's not about you watching videos. That way, if you go and see, right, you have NPTEL or any other portals are there where you have so many wonderful videos are available online for free. Then why should somebody join this course? You only gain that hands-on experience provided you spend that particular time in it, right? So if you cannot spend your time, you need to manage. You are aspiring, right? You wanted to get into this domain. You need to make time. If you cannot spend time, only you are watching videos or only you are attending classes, placements will not come. Hope that's clear, Girish and others, right? Okay. Then Parsa Venkateshwara says, sir, I'm not comfortable in Bangalore, so I would like to take coaching from Hyderabad. Is it possible? See, we have physical centers only in Bangalore. That way, if you're opting for a physical offline course, you need to come to Bangalore. Apart from that, basically, if you wanted to study from Hyderabad, you need to opt for an online course only. Okay, Parsa. Okay, then Shahil is telling, sir, after completion of this course, will we be more skillful than I-18? I think that's what you are referring, right? So we don't promise such things, Shahil. I'm not telling that your skill set will go beyond IIT. All we are promising is that, if you do this course well, you'll get a job. Okay, because that is a very, very abstract statement, right? Again, there's a parameters in which you measure an IIT skill and your skill is not similar. What ours is telling is, right, because companies are preferring to come here because they get to find a skill set, right? And you will get a job what erstwhile and IIT guys was aspiring. That's what we are telling. Because person to person it varies, right? How can you say today, tomorrow when I give 6 months training, can you beat an IIT? That will not be able to answer. But will you be able to get a job where the IITs used to get a job? Like for example, Samsung or Qualcomm? Yes, that is possible, provided you work towards that. Then Nevin is asking, do we get certificates after the course? Yes, Nevin, you'll get 2 types of certificates. One is from Emertxe and another one is from National Skill Development Corporation or Skill India. I'll talk about it shortly in the later session. You just hang on. Rahul Gautam is asking, what skill the embedded company wants from the students? Again, it's slowly getting into the skill point of it, course point of it. We'll talk about it. Okay. So almost all the questions I've answered, right? So let me quickly ask your questions, right? Are you able to get a view of whatever has been presented so far? We talked about two points if you ask me. One, what are the high level job trends in this job market and how this trend is getting into an opportunity, and how our students are getting placed, irrespective of the year of pass out, irrespective of the branch, irrespective of their background, year gap, etc., how they are getting placed, right? Now we need to get into the course part of it, but before that, I just want to have a quick check. I know it's already 8:15 or 8:20, right? Are you able to connect with whatever the information shared so far? Can you get some responses? Are you able to grasp? Nevin is telling yes. Then he explained doubts very well, says Rushikesh. Pradishin is telling yes. Mubashir, Nirup, Nevin, Maharishi, Rajesh, they're all telling yes. Shall I move forward to the next section, the technical side of it? Shall I move forward? The course part of it? All right. Rakesh is telling yes, sir. Go on. Can you get some more yeses? All right. Okay. So let me move on to the second section about the course, because naturally the questions will incline towards the course, right? Because when we talk about skill and placement, they become you can separate them separately, right? Okay. So let us talk about the course. So what is the course? Very simple. We are trying to skill you wherever there is a skill gap, and then help you to get a job in this particular domain. Okay. Then there are three options for this course. We already touched upon this briefly. Now let us get into a little bit of deep dive and then check how this works. The first mode is what is called as an offline or a physical classroom, where you need to come to our Bangalore MG Road office and sit in the classroom and learn. Okay. That's a 6 months duration. Then we have online option. Online, we have two options. One is an online regular, which happens in the daytime. The classes will be happening, and there will be some timing will be variant. I'll just show you in the next slide. And you have in the evening session, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. What we are having right now, the classes will be conducted that, and lab will be from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Right. So that's how it is. Divided. Okay. And if you are learning online, you can learn from anywhere. So let us do a detailed comparison of various parameters: duration, modules, daily routine, class timings, weekly plan, recorded videos, hardware, placement support, etc. So let me go through one by one. So let us take an offline course first. Okay. If you see the offline course, it is a 6 months course, full time. Per day you need to spend about 5 hours minimum in our center, and every day there will be 2 to 2.5 hours of classes will be there. Similarly, 2 to 2.5 hours of labs will be there. So pretty much half day you are in our center. You're coming at 9:30, you are there till 1:30. Sometimes you come at 2 o'clock and you spend time till 6:30 or 7, right? So that's a daily routine students will have. And it's a 6 days a week. Okay. All the days, Monday to Saturday classes will be there. So Saturday, our mentors will use it for class and labs, but additional to that, they'll also use it for the various tests. So typically, classes will be there. If not classes, they'll use it for the test, weekly test, module test, etc. Right? And for our physical classroom students, we will not be giving you the recorded videos. Anyways, you're coming and attending the classes physically. We will not be giving you the recorded videos. With respect to the hardware exposure, you'll be giving a pick and arm based boards. Those boards are available in our office. You can come, you can take it from our reception, you can use it, and while going home, you can return it and go. That's a process we have. Right? And you will get a 2-year placement support. And some of you, when you are talk to our counselor, they would have told you that you'll get a 2-year placement support. So what do you mean by 2 years unlimited placement support, right? Let us say you are joining in the month of August, right? July is almost over. August, let us say, right? And you're joining for an August offline course, right? 6 months course. So that means say what? August, September, October, November, December, January. January you will be completing the course. January 2023 you will be finishing your course. So what happens in the rest of placements is that from January 2023 you will get placement support, unlimited placement support for 2 years. That is till January 2025. You will get unlimited placement opportunity for 2 years. That's what we mean by that. Okay? But you can start applying for placements before itself. Once you complete your C and C++ module, and which happens around the 3rd month, after that you can start applying for that. So if you ask me, roughly 24 months after the course and 3 months during the course, you will get a 27 months of placement opportunity, right? Where you can get unlimited placement opportunity through whatever the companies that we have seen. Of course, our placement team will be there to support you. Hope this is clear. Similarly, for the online students, as I said, the online students will have a 5-month course because we felt that keeping the students engaged for more than 5 months in online is quite challenging. That's why we reduced one module there. That will not have any impact on your placements. Don't worry about that. Okay. So there'll be 2 hours of virtual classes where similar to this. By the way, all our classes are live. After the live classes, we also record and give you the recorded session. Later, you can take a look into it. Right. So 2 hours of live classes will be there, like how we are doing today, and 1.5 hours of lab for 3 days, where the lab mentor will be explaining you the lab assignments. Then you need to go and execute right on your own, and you get doubts. Then you get a assessment and evaluation. If you give me some time, Mubin will demonstrate what I'm talking about. Right. The class timings will remain the same. Everything else will remain the same. But here you will get recorded videos since you are an online students. Okay. That's the point, right? And in the hardware, as I said, for the online students, instead of giving you buying the board, we'll be using this simulator. The simulators are very much like a real hardware. Will not have any compromise or any issue with respect to your learning. So your learning will be as effective as your regular hardware, right? So you need to be installing this hardware in your PC and then doing that. They're all open source software, the simulators, absolutely no need to worry. And your learning effectiveness will be absolutely the same how you learn in a physical hardware. So this is about the the online regular. Now online evening looks very much the same like an online regular except for timing set. Okay. Timing wise, if you see the online evening class students, since it is aimed for mainly for the working professionals, right? Here the timings are fixed here. You can see here the class timings are fixed every day from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You can see that. And then here, instead of 1.5 hours into 3 days of lab explainer sessions, here it will be 1 hour into 5 to 6 days. You can see that there's a slight difference in the labs, so that your time is distributed. But in terms of overall duration of the time, whether you are online regular or online evening, it's the same. And of course, the hardware and the placement support and and the recorded session will remain the same. So this is about the detailed comparison of how the 3 courses is going to get delivered. And as I already mentioned, with respect to us people in Emertxe, there is no compromise either with respect to the course quality or the learning what you will get in any 3 options, right? Morning, online, evening, online, or physical classroom student, right? There is no compromise. Definitely, there is no compromise on the placement support also. You can see that, right? Very much remain the same. Just that mode of learning is different. I tell you this example, right? Suppose I want to go to Delhi. You find 3 routes. Whether you take a route A, route B, or route C. Ultimately, the destination is the same of you guys getting into core job. That's about the hardware part of it. Okay, and then online mode of delivery. This is where how it's going to get delivered comes into picture. I would request Mubin to show a demo. Let me share my desktop to him, because many of you asked, right, how we will be answering, getting the hardware exposure, doubt clearing and all. Let me share my desktop to Mubin. Let Mubin do that. Mubin, can you take over? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'll go off the video. Yes, Mubin, it is visible. All of you are able to see Mubin's screen?
Okay.
I think they are able to. Okay. Go ahead, Mubin. I'll go offline. I'll go offline. I'll come late. Yeah.
Not a problem. Sure. Give me a second. I'm just sharing my application.
Sure.
Yeah. I hope my whiteboard is visible. Everyone, Jay.
Yes, Mubin, it is visible.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll maybe initially I'll briefly about how the course is delivered. Then I'll move on to the course demo, as well as I'll walk you through the learning management system. So to give an idea of how the course is delivered. So if you see here, as part of the embedded system course, there are 7 subjects in the online mode and 8 subjects in the offline mode. Each subject comprises of these components. So when you look at this first box, you can see that each subject comprises of class, lab. So class and lab will be held on a daily basis, 6 days a week. And there are small differences in terms of timings for regular batches and evening batches, which I think Jaykumar has already shared. So when you talk about class, we focus mostly on imparting the conceptual understanding, and we'll help you to understand the concepts in a practical way. So whenever you are attending the class, we ask you to basically be available with your laptop or a desktop so that you can practice whatever has been taught to you. So after the class, you'll have lab sessions. So lab session is focused on a few things. So first thing is in the lab, we make you basically explain the assignments and projects. So as part of every module, you will be given assignments. The idea of giving assignments is that you are able to practically realize whatever you understood. So most of the assignments are programming oriented. You will be given explanation of the problem statements, and you'll also be given hints on how you can solve those programming assignments. Now, please understand one thing: many of you may be very new to the programming language, and even if you don't have any background, we'll ensure that we start from scratch and all the concepts are taught in detail. So you don't have to worry about whether you learn C in college or whether you have some experience in it. We'll make sure that even if you don't know, we'll be covering the topics from scratch. In fact, all the 7 or 8 subjects which you're going to learn, and if you don't have any idea, we'll make sure that you understand it from the basics. Similarly, in the lab, you'll be given assignments and you'll have to work on the assignments after the lab hours. So a very important thing here is that it's not that just you coming and attending the class. You have to make sure that you're able to complete the assignments also, which is given on a daily basis. So these assignments are not very complex, but it will take some time for you to complete. And we are there to help you out. I'll tell you how you can seek help in detail. So apart from that, at the end of the module, you'll be given projects. So projects are kind of mini projects, which you should be able to complete maybe in a span of 2 to 3 days. So every module will have 1 or 2 projects. That way you can easily have your resume built, and you can showcase your resume with easily 4 to 8 projects without much difficulty. So it's important that when you attend the interviews, right, they'll ask you questions based upon project. So when you work on the projects, you'll get confidence. You'll also gain knowledge about what are topics you have learned. And apart from that, we'll be giving objective test as well as module test. So objective test is mostly MCQ or multiple choice based questions, which will be given on a regular basis. And this can be used for you to evaluate where you stand in terms of your understanding level. And when you attend interviews, you will be given similar questions. So we are making you prepare, we are making you ready for the interviews. So these objective test and module test will help you to basically solve like interview-based questions. And when you attend the interviews, it's going to be very easy for you. So most of the students who have done our course, they'll find it easy to clear the company-based test and company-based interviews. And your grading is done based upon all these components. We'll grade you, and you can also see your grade and your progress in the learning management system. So with respect to the online, with respect to offline students, we can clear the doubts directly in the class as well as the lab. You can ask questions anytime. And in case of online mode also, when somebody is basically engaging your class, you can feel free to ask your questions. You can even unmute and you can ask questions, or you can type the messages in the chat box and you can have your doubts clarified. In case of online mode, we have a dedicated session for doubt clearing. So every day you will have assignments and doubt clearing sessions. So whatever doubts you have, you can ask instantly and can get it clarified. Many of the people who are working or are taking online courses, for them we have multiple channels for support and doubt clearing. So we'll create a WhatsApp group for every batch, and your batchmates as well as mentors for taking that module will be added to that WhatsApp group. So anytime you have any doubt, you can just post a query and we'll be there to answer your questions. So that way you don't have to wait, and we'll support you during like work hours between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can expect the support. And similarly, we'll conduct doubt clearing sessions during the lab time. In fact, we encourage you to ask questions. That's the best way to learn. Apart from WhatsApp group, there are discussion forums also created for every course, and you can post your questions similar to Stack Overflow, you might have seen, right? You can ask your questions and your peers or your batchmates can answer, or even mentors will be there available who will be giving you the correct answers in case somebody is not answered. Now, this is about the support channel we have. Apart from the regular classes, this is important that we also are prepared for placements. So we have a very streamlined placement process, and for every company that comes, right, we will create a WhatsApp group and we'll have activities running around it. So first and foremost, before you can apply for a job, right, we will ensure that you are prepared for that. So what we do is we'll conduct mock interviews, and by attending mock interviews, you'll come to know where you stand in terms of your performance. So everybody will be given feedback about your performance, be it your how you're introducing yourself, or be it your technical level, or be it your problem solving level. You'll get feedback on your mock interviews. So this will help you to get prepared, and you can also improvise. It's not that we're restricting you to one mock interview. If you're not, like, let's say you're not confident, you didn't perform well, we'll give you multiple re-attempts so that you can perform well and be confident before attending the companies. So apart from that, we have a huge database of company specific questions, right? Let's say a specific company comes uneven. So we have a huge database of questions which are like collected from previous interview drives. So we'll share you those questions so that whenever the placement drive comes, you can prepare your maybe completed subjects, but you can also focus on most probable questions which the company is going to ask. That's how you can like become more prepared, and you can like clear the interviews easily. So we'll also conduct prep test. Like test will contain multiple choice and subjective questions, again from the previous interview questions. That way also you are prepared. So apart from that, we have like placement preparation sessions, which are subject specific, like C programming, data structures, or microcontrollers, Linux internals. We'll conduct subject specific interview preparation sessions, as well as company specific interview preparation sessions are conducted. And as I told you, for every company that or every placement visit, right, we create a WhatsApp group. I'll show you how it works. And in that WhatsApp group, like all communication related to your test schedule, your interview schedule, the progress with respect to your test clearance, interview questions will be shared. After one of the basically candidates completes the interview, immediately you'll post the updates, etc. So that you get more updates and you can prepare accordingly. And we have a dedicated placement team. Our placement team is very strong in terms of bringing new companies, in terms of coordinating with the students as well as HRs, so that the hiring and onboarding process is smooth. Apart from all these things, we have a student success team. So the student success team is a non-technical team wherein we have student success coaches who will guide you in terms of in case you face any difficulties or challenges with respect to completing your courses. So more of a like a psychological approach wherein how you should be performing in your sessions. You'll also get regular feedback with respect to your progress. And in case you are facing any difficulties, you can contact our student success coach 1:1, and you can seek guidance from the success coach so that you can like clear your doubts and you can make better inroads in your learning. So this overview about how the training basically is delivered. So please understand, it's not just about class and lab. There are more to it, which will help you to gain more knowledge and eventually get a good job. Now, with respect to training delivery, so with in case of offline batches, I think many of you don't have any questions in case of how the delivery happens. But in case of online, we just wanted to share you a two sample videos on actual class delivery. This is a stripped down video of live classes which we've taken. So I will share you that. Okay, maybe I'll walk you through the LMS first. Not able to find it. So to give you any detail about what is a learning management system. So basically, it's a web portal wherein a learner can access all the course-related materials. Okay, so this is how a dashboard looks like. So we have a portal wherein you can access all the course-related information. So I'm just showing one of the pages for a existing student. You can see the student name here, and you can also see in the dashboard which all courses which all modules he has been enrolled, and the progress with respect to the modules. Right. Let's take an example of a C programming module, which is a very important module for placements. You can also see like as of now how many users are currently logged in. Right. So we can see 48 users maybe related to the student is currently logged in. So when you see the dashboard, you can see the progress with respect to every module, and as you complete the modules, the progress percentage should improve. So here is a sample course or sample module which we'll be doing, Advanced C we call it, and on the left side you can see a lot of navigation items, and on the right side you can see the activities. So here you can access the course-related resources. So for online batches as well as offline batches, the resources which are shared is same. For example, you have the slides. Let me open the introduction to C slide. If you click on it, it will open up. So these are PDFs or course materials which will be given to you. You can see how much detail it is. Right? This can be used as a reference material for you to learn. So apart from slides, you'll be given like other materials, including assignments. Okay, so for every chapter there will be assignments given. These assignments you can do it on your own. You can submit it. It will get automatically evaluated. Okay, it's like you don't have to wait for the mentor to get a feedback. You have written test cases wherein you submit the assignments on your own, and you will get a feedback whether the assignment is correct or not. So you don't have to wait on mentors to give feedback. Every chapter will consist of slides, assignments, okay, and some of the chapters will also have tests. You can see quizzes also there, and so on. Now, apart from assignments, you'll have to work on like projects also. Okay, so we'll be given projects. So you can see here, like multiple projects are there. So after you complete the module, you can work on the projects, which are relatively complex activities compared to assignments. The project will help you to build like larger code. Like you'll be ending up writing some 5,000 or 10,000 lines, sorry, 500 or 1,000 lines of code at a minimum. And more projects you can do. This will add weightage, and companies will recognize you. So apart from that, you'll be given test, right? So test will be there. So in C, for example, there are 5 objective tests. After whenever a chapter or 2 chapters are completed, it'll give you an objective test which you can take up, and we will also conduct follow-up sessions for each test. So it's not just that you take the test, you don't know where the mistake you did, right? So you should be able to correct yourself in terms of okay, what is right and what is wrong. We will conduct sessions for every test. That way you can get a better understanding. Next time you should not do that mistake, and so on. So you'll be given objective test, you'll be given module test, and by doing all these things, you'll get confidence and you'll come to know where is your level. We also take feedback. Okay, so you can see here, So feedback is as a option available in the LMS. Whenever you have to post any queries, right, you can give feedback to it. So apart from that, for online batches, not for offline batches, you will get recordings also. You can see, right? This is class recording. So if you click on this link, it will open up in another tab, and here you can watch the recorded videos. Okay, so for class, you can see a lot of topics are there. Lab also gets recorded so that you can complete the assignments and you can complete the projects. And code like programs are also shared to you so that you can learn it on your own. This is how the LMS portal looks like, and eventually you'll also come to know where you stand in terms of your progress. If you click on grades, right, you can see here. So this particular student has like done a lot of activities, and at the end you can also see the final score. Right, example, he scored around 84%, which is good kind of. Okay, so just to share you brief about what the LMS looks like. So in the LMS you can access all the resources. And similarly, you can also see that you can post questions in the discussion forum. As I told you, you can post your questions in WhatsApp group, or you can post the questions in discussion forum. The discussion forum is specific to a batch. So as students find difficulty in completing assignments, or they have specific doubts for a topic, they can just post their questions, right? And someone else or the other will answer that question. So I'm just showing one of the questions were recently asked, and you can see the like a thread how it runs, and you can also get answers from other students as well as mentors. Okay. Now this is about the LMS portal, and apart from this LMS portal, you'll be given access to WhatsApp group. So this is just one of the WhatsApp group which is running for evening batches, last month's batch. So you can see that students are like asking questions with respect to their lab, their assignments, and so on, right? So you can see this like they're getting problem, right? I'm getting output, but not getting the test case is cleared. So somebody else or there will be there who will be answering your queries, right? So if like this particular, for example, program was not working because of a simple mistake, right? Spelling mistake was there, for example. Just because of that, they're not able to write the answers. What I'm trying to tell you is that you'll get full-fledged support in the form of doubt clearing sessions, in the form of WhatsApp group, or in the form of uh, uh, discussion forums. So multiple channels are there wherein you can clear your doubts. So apart from creating groups for what is that batches, we'll also create group for placements, right? You can see here this is like Qualcomm, let's say I search. So there are Qualcomm has visited multiple times. I'm just showing you like recent maybe visits, right? So recently Qualcomm visited, like every month they are coming. So we'll create a WhatsApp group whenever they visit. Okay, and you can see like how's the progress with respect to that batch, right? So you can also see like this particular student, Gladys, she got placed actually recently last month, and she's sharing the questions, right? So the next batch when they come, they can just take this document and prepare with, right? You can see like a placement manager, Lokesh, is congratulating her, right? And she's acknowledging that, right? Fine. So like this for every company, like let's say Qualcomm, let's say NXP, right? It's visited like in a month they are visiting like multiple times also, right? So you can see the messages are exchanged. So they'll share the questions, they'll also share the interview timings and so on. So why we are doing this is because we don't want to basically miss on any communication, right? So let's say they get an email with respect to the test, or email with respect to the interviews, everything gets updated, and this happens very rapidly, right? So in a span of 1 or 2 days, for example, the placement drive will complete, and it's quite fast. Proactively we need to communicate. That's why we create WhatsApp groups. So that's about the LMS portal and the channels of communication. Jay, I think we can take over now. Jay, are you there? Maybe he's away from the system. Just give us a minute. We'll come back. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can post it. Give us a moment. I think he's on mute.
Yeah,
Let me check.
Mubin, are you able to hear me now?
Now, yeah, I'm able to hear.
Hello.
So looks like
Looks like there was a
yeah,
issue. Yeah.
Videos
There's a network
are not
issue.
the recorded videos, post demo videos are not accessible somehow. Is it available on your side, from your side? Can you check?
No, Mubin. No, I don't
it's not
have
accessible, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. From the no problem. I think you can proceed in that
Mubin,
case.
there are some. Okay, so there are some questions here. Let me ask them for you. The question from Rakesh. Rakesh is asking, sir, will you provide LMS access even for offline students?
Yes, we provide LMS access for offline students as well. Okay, so everybody will get the same interface. Only difference is that the offline students, anyway, the class is not recorded, so we will not get the recordings for offline students. That's only
so
difference.
Rakesh, you get the same LMS, only thing recorded video will not be available for offline students, right? That's the only difference. Other thing, the same LMS will be given to you. And there is a question from Rushikesh. He's asking, so please provide a demo of lab sessions. I don't know what he referred by that. Moving.
We'll do one thing. Maybe after the webinar, we'll share you maybe a video of how the class is done, so you'll get an idea. Maybe we'll share you links to the recordings. You can view it.
Okay, sure. So typically we run it. I think today there is some difficulty, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then there's a question from Harshita. She's asking, sir, is it compulsory to attend lab classes? Because the lab classes will be from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. But I am working in night shift. So can I watch recorded classes? So I think I already told you the answer to this, Harshita. I think somebody else asked, especially this question comes from working professionals. Attending the lab is a mandatory. Okay. If you only attend the videos, only watching the offline videos, then your skill set improvement will not happen. Definitely, it will affect placements. You'll be able to, go and apply, even get shortlisted. But when you go there, getting selected will have a direct relation with how well you attend our lab sessions. Because these recorded, if it is only is all about classes, we can, day one we can give the entire recording to all of you, and then we can, leave. Right? That's not the idea. You have to do the output from your side, whatever the mechanism Mubin has demonstrated, whether it's the forum or asking doubts on the mentors via WhatsApp, and practically you need to do it. This is for anybody for that matter. If you come and attend only 2 hours of class and then you expect miracles to happen, it's not going to happen. You need to work on the labs only. So attending lab sessions are non-negotiable. You need to plan your time accordingly. As I said, you are the best person. If the evening slot doesn't work out, maybe you need to come on the morning slot and then try it out. Okay, I would say like that. Then Maharishi is asking, so our tests are taken on weekdays or weekends? So typically it's planned on weekends, right? Weekends, as I said, regular class and lab will be there. In addition to that, sometimes our class and lab timings will be utilized for the tests also. Okay. But tests will be there, as Mubin showed, right? Module test, weekly test.
Can you just check, like, because the recordings are available, it's there. So maybe From as an organizer, can you play it? Because I'm now to play the recordings. It's there actually.
Where are the files?
No, in the right side, you can see the interface, right, which comes up webcam audio. So there you can share. When you click on share, it should show the files. When you click on share, instead of sharing the desktop, right, you should be able to share the video files. Do you see anything out there?
No, maybe I'm not able to see.
Okay, maybe some issue. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, yes, we'll figure it out. So there are some more questions. Is the tests are online or offline? Tests are all online, Manoj. Okay, the LMS, they'll be uploading the questions and to take them. Whether you're an online student or an offline student, tests will be conducted online. Then Nelson is asking, sir, can online students come to institute and learn? So this question keeps coming up. Generally, we don't encourage because offline when you come, it's not that we don't want you to come. Mentors will be assigned with the offline batches. Okay, so they'll be busy with that batch. Okay, so in case if you are so keen to learn offline, you better enroll for an offline batch. Don't mix. It's like you're taking one route. As I said, you want to reach Delhi. You're taking route number A. Go in the route number A only. Don't switch between route number A and B. Then you will be only confused. Right. Then Nevin is asking 5 days class or 6 days. It's 6 days actually. Okay, 6 days is that. Just that last day, 6th day, it will be either your class or lab or it will be test. Okay. For online evening batch, what will be the lab timings? Pradesh, I think I already showed here. Let me just put up the previous slide here. Hope you are able to see this. You can see the timings of the online evening batch, especially for which is designed for the working professionals. Let me show the slides once again. You can see there the lab timings are mentioned there. 2 hours of classes will be there, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. But if you see the labs, right, labs are scheduled between something like this, right? 1 hour of lab, 5 to 6 days. So typically between 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or 6:45 p.m. daily there will be lab. You finish that lab experience session, then you go to the classroom from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Of course, once you start working on the assignments, if you have doubts and questions, come on the forum or come on the chat and seek the inputs from mentors. Hope that's clear, Pradesh. And then we have Kashinath. Sir, assignments are also offline or online? All online, Kashinath. Okay. We don't use any offline. We have, even your submissions, everything you need to do online only. Okay. On what days lab will schedule, sir? Mubashir. Again, as I said, Mubashir, you can see here, for different type of batches, different timings are given. Online, offline. Hope you're able to see this line wherever I'm doing. This is a lab for the offline students, right? And then you can see here this is a lab session for the online regular students, how it is scheduled. Just go through whatever I circle, you should be able to get the details. Okay. So then there are some questions about the fees coming up. Many of you are asking about what is the fees for online and offline. I think our counseling team would be the right people to explain that. I will give you the details because there is a fee difference between an online and offline, and time to time our team also keeps running some scholarship programs, some discount and all. So they will be the right person to explain you, guide you about the payment terms and what is the overall amount. I'll share the details towards the end of the presentation. You will be able to get it, right? I think Chaya, Rajesh, many of you are asking this question. For online morning batch, right? So same thing here. You can see here that classes are scheduled at, let us say, 9:30, 11:30, or 2 o'clock, right? Then 1.5 hours of lab will be there for 3 days, right? Suppose, let us say, for example, you are joining a 9:30 class. I think your question is very specific. Let me answer that. Suppose your class is at 9:30. 9:30 to 11:30, there will be classes, 2 hours, right? After 2 hours, 11:30 to 1 o'clock, right, will be your lab for 1.5 hours. Like that, it will be there for 3 days. Right. Hope that's clear. Yeah. Mubashir. Right.
Yeah, there will be.
Then Saurabh is asking, so what
the class? It won't be.
Yeah, small break. Yeah. Saurabh is asking, what is the guarantee of placements? This one is very much necessary for me. I need a job right at the end of the program. So what Saurabh Shekhar Naik is doing, he's taking a gun and keeping me at that thing. Job milega nahi, goli maar dunga, right? Jokes apart, what I'm trying to say is like, it depends on you purely, right? You can start applying for placements after the third month, which I already mentioned. If you go to the next slide, it will be a little bit more clearer. This we discussed about this thing, right? Yeah, these are modules which we'll be going through. There are 3 levels, and then subsequently go for the certification and all. So typically you can start applying once you are done with the level 1 modules, that is Linux systems, C and C++ programming, which happens around the 3rd month. After that, you can start applying for placements. So by the end of the course, whether you will have a job in your hand or not, it purely depends on you, right? As long as you work on all the assignment and placements, and you saw the type of companies that are hiring, I'll also walk you through the Google group to get the real-time statistics, right? So that way, definitely you will be able to do it by the end of the course itself. But there is also a chance where some of you started applying after 4th month or 5th month. By the end of the course, you've not got a job. You attended, let's say, 5 interview, 10 interview, you've not got a chance, right? So what happens? You continue to apply. That's what I mentioned in the beginning itself, that you'll be getting placement opportunity 2 years after the course completion, right? So the guarantee will come as long as you are working on your assignment and projects. If you're working on them, absolutely nothing to worry. Okay. Then Maharshi is talking about Skill India certificate. Give me some time, Maharshi. I'll come to that. I'll walk you through some on the placements and come to that, right? Kashinath is telling, sir, please provide this recorded demo session. So we'll give you that. Okay, this video we will be recording. Already getting recorded. As I said, we'll do minor edits. In a day or two, you will receive it in your email. Okay. So this is about the course and what skills and capabilities you will be building. Okay. And then somebody asked about the soft skills and preparation activities. That's what these Disha workshops come into picture, where you'll be conducting various workshops on resume building and interfacing, company specific preparation that Mubin has walked you through, right? And then the mock interviews, and then the student support team giving you the counseling wherever you are finding it, finding it difficult, etc. Right? So that is the kind of a activity that we'll be doing, so that you not only bank on only the lab and class, you should be in a position to represent you well in the resume, right? So that's what these workshops will be conducted for. I think this is done, the classroom, etc. I think course, good amount of points we already discussed. Cost effective. By the way, your online will work out about cost effectiveness, because when you're coming to learn online, right, you don't need to spend anything coming to Bangalore, staying, etc. But if you're taking offline, you need to come here, take accommodation in Bangalore. As you know, Bangalore is quite an expensive city in terms of your stay, accommodation, travel, food. You will need to shell out good amount of money, right? Again, as I said, it is your preference. Okay? There is nothing from our side. It is purely your preference, right? Then lockdowns, anyways, hopefully we are out of it, right? Then learning the simulators, mentors, doubt clarifications, how it is done, pretty much all the, then working professionals we discussed. College people also can take it up if they are, in their college, somebody studying in the 7th semester, and they can take up this course, and then, in the final year they can do this course, and after they complete their degree, they can apply for their placements. Okay. So then, all this year gap, percentage, and then, how can I achieve placement, year career break, right? We discussed all this permutation combination. Okay. So let us move on to the placements once again. Let us understand placement from a process point of view. As you saw in the initial time, we given more of a company and how our students are achieving. But let us get into the process details, a small demo type of thing, right? So let me show you guys a flow of how this placement works, right? So once you join the course, all of you will be made as a part of a Google group, where you'll get the notification about placements. So and so company has come. I'll show you shortly. Let me explain the high level process. Then what you can do, you can check every company, check the eligibility, check the salary, check the location. Everything will be shared to you, right? You can check and apply. Then our team will do an internal shortlisting. We'll filter it out, because sometimes students who are not eligible may also apply. We need to filter them out and then send them for the company, and then the company will further do a shortlisting. Then there will be subsequently written tests and interviews will be happening, and then offer release will happen, right? And then onboarding will happen, right? So here there are a few points to note. One is like here there are 2 scenarios, as I mentioned. What will happen if we get placed before the course gets over, right? I applied in the 4th or 5th month. Before I have two modules are pending. What do I do? Right? That's a good scenario. Scenario number 1. Right? what happens is automatically all the students are given opportunity to attend the pending modules in the online evening batch. Because what happens, all the companies who are recruiting from us are expecting to join the company immediately. Okay, of course, we'll work it out. Students who are working professionals who have the notice period to be served and all, we'll work it out. That is very much possible. But assuming that you are available, they won't give you much time. For example, join after 6 months, etc. They have asked you to join immediately, right? Which means to say what? Suppose you are an offline student or online regular student, right? You will not be able to attend the classes. You go and join the company. Then all the students will be will be given opportunity to attend the pending modules in the online evening mode. There is no extra cost or there is no extra fee or something like that. You're already our student. Instead of 7 modules, you attended only 5 and got placed. We'll give you opportunity to complete the remaining 2 modules in the evening batch. So that way you're not getting compromised with respect to your skill set or your training, right? Then the second scenario, as I said, you are finishing your course, but you're still not placed. You attended, let us say, 10 interviews, right, or 10 written tests. Sometimes you went into little later on, but still offer letter has not come into your hand. So what do? You apply for next 2 years via our unlimited placement opportunity and proceed with placements. Okay, so that's a mechanism it works. There's a question from Bharati. Placement is through online or offline? As I said, most of them are happening through online. You don't need to come to Bangalore. Very few companies are, even though pandemic is out of the window, very few companies are calling them. I would say maximum 5%. 5 also is a high, I would say. 95% of the companies are hiring in the online mode, be it written test, be it interview, and then it's around technical rounds, right? Then even joining, onboarding, everything is done through online only, right? But yeah, these days companies do expect you to come to Bangalore after you are getting selected, and depending on the company, they may say 5 days you come, 2 days you come, etc. Gone. I'm not seeing recent past where they're completely working online after selection. At least they started, majority of the companies, what I understand, is more to the hybrid mode. But selection wise, they're still comfortable with digital mode of hiring, online mode of hiring, right? Then there is a question from Mubashir saying, is IIMT studies certificates recognized in placements? I don't know what you mean by this IIMT, Mubashir. Maybe you can give me a little bit details. I will come to know. Okay. Then Maharishi is asking, after getting selected, is there any possibility that the company has a 6 months internship process before officially joining the company? There is nothing called internship as such, Maharishi. All the companies that are hiring from us, they're hiring you for a full-time role. They're hiring as an employee. Okay, there's no something called further internship. There's nothing like that, right? We don't give that type of a some companies do ask us. They'll even come and tell, after hiring your student, we first 6 months will not pay. After that, we'll start paying. We say, thank you very much, right? We're not interested in you. All the companies are hiring for full-time positions. But first 6 months, what generally company will say, I don't use the word internship. I would use the word called probation, which applies to any company, including Emertxe, where 6 months will be initially part of the learning things, getting used to the environment, because you'll not be productive from day one, right? You take 2 to 3 months to learn things, and by the end of the 6 months, they'll be giving you the confirmatory letter, or you are confirmed in the company, right? But day one onwards, your employee, you will get paid with the salary whatever company is offering. There's nothing called further internship. That internship kind of experience you are gaining in our course itself, right? There's nothing called internship concept after that. And then Mubashir is saying, sir, International Institute of Management and Technical Studies, it's an autonomous body. They provide distance learning courses. TKR, not much. If you ask me, Mubashir, any additional certification you do, somebody will even take some course from, let us say, NPTEL or some Coursera or any other courses. It's okay. Okay, I'm not telling something major, or rather than that, what you learn in your course and what you do as a part of the hands-on project and assignments in our course is going to matter. Okay. Some students will come and tell, I don't have any certificate. That's fine. You do our course properly, you'll get a job. Okay. Hope that's clear. So let me quickly exit the slide and show you guys the the Google group which I mentioned 2 minutes back. So this is the Emertxe Google group. You can see that you may see the same data only after students getting placed, right? They kind of getting published in the website and in the social media, etc. But once you're a student, right, you will be added to that. Just you can see, right, per day how many activities are happening every day, right? For example, if you look at today itself, right, there is email sent at morning 11:50, then 2 o'clock, then something at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 6:40, 6:43, right? You can see so many companies are coming. Apply now is about applying, then somebody is getting shortlisted. when you need to attend the interview or schedule, that will be communicated, right? Then after that, somebody got selected, the congratulations mail, which you saw in the WhatsApp group shown by Mubin, also get published in the group. Then after that, we'll go and publish in the social media, right? So you can see here Siemens, RD Aerospace, Radisys, Satyam Software, then Automotive Power, a lot of things, NXP Semiconductors, Qualcomm, Borgs, right? Microwatt Energy, Ampere Computing, Vitesco, Exicom Telesystems, a lot of companies you can see, right? Everything coming, right? Let me just take one example of how this and you can see, right, monthly meeting, Disha workshop are getting planned, right? So like this, it will be there, and then you can see almost all the companies, right? L&T Smart World Communication, which I mentioned, right? So every company is mentioned here, right? Now, if you open any application, it will have the complete details of the particular company, right? For example, let me open this QNAP Corporation, right? So what is this particular company is doing? A detail will be given about the company. What is the skill set or modules that you should have completed? You can see here this company, no percentage criteria they're telling. And you can be from 2018, 19, 20, 21, any year pass out. They're like a 3.9 lakhs is a starting salary they're giving. No bond, right? Interview mode, job location, and then there'll be a timeline given to you when you need to apply. And then there'll be a link to be given, you can apply. Right? Similarly, if I go back and check relatively different, let us say Ampere Computing, again there is a lot of detail given. C programming is required, embedded systems, right? DS model can apply. You look at this company, they're having a slightly different criteria. 19, 20, 21 only can apply. No percentage criteria. Company will share their 40 students, right? Then look at that. They're in a premium range, 12 to 13 lakhs kind of thing. No bond, interview mode, right? Then job location, you can see, right? Work from office. Everything is clearly mentioned, and there'll be a link for you to apply. You can go and apply. Now this would have got closed because it's 22nd was the last day to apply. You can see it would have got closed. Let me just take an example of the recent application which is open. Let us say, for example, Span Idea Systems. You can see here, right? This is a salary. They have 1 year bond. You can see, right? Interview mode, etc. So tomorrow is the date, right? Then this will be open. Let us click this. It's a very simple process. Everything is given to you, your details, everything, your resume upload, BTech degree, MTech degree, university, right? Terms and conditions, which module you are committed. This is how you need to apply. Okay? Please note this link is only given to Emertxe students, right? That's what we do in the internal shortlisting activity, right? Our students will be, giving an opportunity. Only they can apply. Okay? So then subsequently the process kicks in, whatever I have just discussed so far, right? So that's the application process. Some of the facts we saw, let us see. Till how long I'll get placement opportunity? We saw that 2 years, right? You can apply from the 3rd month. Can I choose between 2 job offers? No. You can apply for 2 companies, but we'll allow you to only one job offer you can get, because we'll talk about it little later in detail. Because we don't want somebody getting 2 opportunities, somebody is not going without job. We want all of you to go with 1 job. You can get maximum opportunities, but choose only 1 job. Should I apply to all companies? It depends on you. What type of companies are hiring? You saw the Google group. Okay. I'm having an year gap. Will it affect placements? No. Right? You can see, right? So many people with year gap are able to achieve. I have a notice period bond with my previous company. How can I handle it? As I said, our placement team will take care. They will closely work with you, and then they work it out. There are so many people, especially working professionals, have achieved the notice placement, and they served the notice period properly, and then join the new organization. Our team will help you, right? Somebody is talking about the certification. So let me share you that what I mean by certification. Give me a minute. So we are a affiliated training institute with the National Skill Development Corporation, or NSDC. Just give me a minute. I just shared the certificate example in my screen. Hope you're all able to see that. So this is the certificate that you'll be getting. Once you complete your course, in order to get the Government of India certification, you need to complete the course, and then you need to apply for a certification exam, right? Where we, of course, Emertxe, our team will take care of it. In fact, we are due to pandemic and there are some issues, we could not conduct for the last good amount of time. We are again should be getting started shortly. And other challenge also has happened was, earlier the assessment used to happen offline, right? Now even assessment we wanted to do online. That's why this they took us some time. And then once you apply the certification, the assessment panel from NSDC, and we come under something called Electronic Skill Sector Council of India. You can see in the left bottom of that, right? So they will come from the panel, will come from there, and they will assess you, and then they will reward you the certificate, right? And then you can see that this comes from Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship from Government of India. Right, you'll be getting that for the embedded software level 5, right? Embedded software engineer level 5. This is a very good certification that all of you should aspire for. Will it have an impact in placements? May not be, right? But will it have an impact in your career in the long run? Yes, definitely, right? Having a level 5 certification from Government of India matters. Then we'll also put our institution name, signature, we'll seal it, and then we'll give you the hard copy, because NSDC mandates that you should be giving the hard copy. This will be couriered to your house. We'll be laminating and we'll be sending it to you. But similar to placements, applying for certification, attending the certification test, everything is online. You don't need to come to our center at all. Okay. So this is about the certification. Hope that's clear. There's some question about certification. And apart from that, yes, we'll also be giving you the Emertxe certificates also. You can, which time to time we can give, no issues. Now, somebody spoke about, were asking about the counselor dates and the counseling fees and all. So please take a screenshot of this particular slide. That is 26th July. Tomorrow we are starting an offline batch. Then 27th we are starting an online regular, and 29th we are taking an online evening batch. Right. Every month we start 3 batches in embedded. We'll start some batches in IoT also, but since it's an embedded course demo, we are sharing you the dates. And already admissions are open, and good number of admissions students have already taken. And in case you are planning to enroll, or if you have any queries with respect to fees, etc., you can see our counseling team's contact detail there. Training at Emertxe, very simple way to remember. And there are a couple of phone numbers are there. You can just call them. They will help you with respect to fees and which batch you want to join and all. And by the way, every month we'll be starting batches towards the end of the month. And then suppose, let us say, for example, tomorrow or 27th you want to enroll, and then let us say you want to join after 1 or 2 days. Please take the decision fast, because once we enroll enough students, we can't keep the admission open for a long time, because the classes will be starting and you will not be able to catch up. So that way you need to come in the next month windows will be there. Okay. Then there is an interesting question coming up from Maharishi. So on one batch, how many students were online or offline? Okay, very interesting question, right? So Maharishi, what according to our training philosophy, given the kind of technical engagement what we need to give to students, both in the class, lab, right? We need to give you a good amount of attention. So attention only will happen provided there's a good student-teacher ratio, right, or a mentor and student ratio, right? So we are very particular about that. So what we do is that whether it's an online or offline batches, right, we have a thumb rule of 40. 40 is roughly the batch size. Sometimes offline, what happens, a little bit they will add, a little bit they'll reduce that. So, but 40 is the number that we are comfortable with. Okay, 40 is to 1 in terms of class mentor. In fact, lab mentors, there will be more lab mentors will be deployed. Sometimes you may see that 2 or 3 lab mentors are deployed for the same batch. Like 40 students are there, there are 2 lab mentors or 3 lab mentors, right? So that is how the what do you call the in terms of teacher or a mentor deployment will be there. Hope that answers your question, Maharishi. Then there's a question from Kashina. So whether we'll give a direct entry or after clearing test only we have to give. See, majority of the companies do expect written test, right? There are very few of them will call for a direct interview. You have to go through the written test. Majority of them. Few of them will call for direct interview. Okay. Again, that purely depends on the company, right? We will not be able to say anything. Whatever they say, right? Whatever the company say, we need to follow. That's how I would put it across, Kashina. So that's what pretty much it is, right? And this is like our contact details. If you're in Bangalore, if you want to even if you want to do an online course, but you want to come and meet us, this is the our contact details. We are based in MG Road, next to the metro station, and these two our active social media channels in LinkedIn and in Instagram. So please do follow all the information, whatever is there in placements do gets posted regularly. Some of you may be already following. Can I know whether you're following us in any one of the channel, Instagram or in LinkedIn? Yes, no. Can I get some answer? I know it's like almost 9:20, your dinner time. Okay, Bharat, Manjunath. Okay, are killing yes, sir. In case if you're not, very easy to remember, Emertxe IT. The handle is Emertxe IT for both LinkedIn and and in this thing. Yeah, good number of you are already following. Okay. So with that note, we'll come to the conclusion of our presentation. So I'd like to welcome you to this new possibility of having a career in core. I think we covered a quite at length topic. It typically takes around 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay, today is like 2 hours 20 minutes. Basically we started from job trends and we moved on to how these jobs are getting benefited to our students, and then how our students are achieving it. Then we went to the technical side of it, is how the online classes are there, how they're getting provided with recorded classes, how you get support via WhatsApp group and forum. Then we saw in placements how to apply, how the Google group works, right? And we saw quite a lot of details around that, right? So I sincerely hope this presentation has given you the necessary information that you're looking for. And as I told in the beginning, there is no silver bullet. I'm not telling that, oh, now that you attended the webinar, tomorrow you guys come and join the course, right? That's not the right way at all. You are the ultimate owner of your career, when you are the ultimate decision maker for your career, and whatever is the right you feel is right for you, take the decision, because career is something which you need to be doing for next 30-40 years. Make the informed decision. Our goal, or Mubin's goal and my goal, is to ensure that we give the right set of information, right? It's not to confuse you, not to not to put you into some kind of a dilemma. Give you the right set of information and let you take the decision for your career, right? And Nirup is telling, like, I've seen some reels on Insta. It's informative. Yeah, thank you, Nirup. I'll pass on the message to my team, because these days I understand reels are what your generation of people. I would still call myself older generation, but I understand, right? You guys prefer more that 10 seconds, 20-second kind of reels are what you guys are preferring. We are trying to do more so that we can bring in the necessary information via whatever way it can be. It can be website, it can be social media posts, it can be this type of webinars or reels, right? Reels maybe for 10 seconds or 20 seconds. You see almost 2.5 hours, right? All pockets of communication we bring it to you to ensure that you are provided with the right information and you take the right decision for your career as we move forward. Okay. So that's it, guys. I hope this webinar was useful for you. Can I get your feedback? How did you find this today's webinar? Ashinath is telling, thank you, sir. Don't worry, you will get the recorded version. In case you missed some section or you have some doubt, you can always come back and play. And you can even want to compare with previous month webinar and then see the information will remain the same. Just that we put it in different words, that the information is always the same. Okay? So Madhuri is telling thank you, sir. Rushikesh is thank you, sir. Archana is telling thank you, sir. Can I get some feedback? How did you find today's webinar? It will be amazing. Thank you, sir, says Nirup. Any other feedback, comments? Thank you for your valuable information, says Manoj. Thank you, sir, says Bharati. Thanks, sir. Tubal Raja. Super informative, says Mubashir. Very useful, says Archana. It was wonderful, says Pradishan. Superb, says Niranjan. Might feel out of the box, but my concern is regarding practical aspects. What art is just not theory. Just anxious regarding this. I'll let me take a minute, Maharishi, and then I'll explain you about ARTAS. Very useful. I'm joining soon, says Rushikesh. Thanks, sir, says Dipanshu. Thank you, sir. Very informative, says Rajesh. Thank you for your information, says Saranya. Right now, let me take this question from Maharishi. Is about the RTOS, right? So, if you look at Maharishi, the previous modules, whichever, let me go to I know it's a very interesting question you are asking. I don't want you to go without getting the right set of answer. Let me go to this slide. Yeah. If you see the modules, whatever we are having here, right? Leaving the presentation, leaving the programming part apart, right? If you look at the operating system assets, right? You will be learning Linux as the primary operating system, right? Again, Linux you learned at 3 levels. You can see there. You will be learning something called Linux systems to start with. Then you'll be learning Linux internals second, and then you will be learning about embedded Linux, right? So you'll be learning Linux at 3 levels, which will give you a real in-depth coverage about an operating system knowledge, what an embedded system engineer should have. This is point number 1, right? Point number 2, please understand Linux is not an RTOS. Linux is not an RTOS, because to make the Linux as an RTOS or any OS as an RTOS, you need to build the real-time capabilities in it. That's what sometimes people call RT Linux, right? But whatever we are teaching you in this particular course is not an RT Linux. It's like whatever Ubuntu Linux, which is not an RTOS, right? So RTOS, what having said that, some of the RTOS concepts, whatever you need to learn, we will be making as a part of the course, where how do you make a OS as an RTOS, how the scheduling policy will be there. So that will be covered as a session, right? RTOS, because I cannot show demonstration of RTOS in Linux. It is because Linux is not an RTOS, as simple as that, right? But having said that, the other, whatever the entire remaining OS related capabilities, be it shell scripting, be it command, be it setting up a development environment, writing multitasking application, multi-threading applications, right? TCP/IP socket programming. Then how do you basically compile a Linux kernel? How do you basically boot up the Linux kernel in the target hardware? Then how to basically port and bring up your application on target hardware, right? This entire thing will be done in a practical session using Linux as an operating system. Okay. But since Linux is not an RTOS, we'll not be able to demonstrate that. But that particular portion is covered as a what you call theory or a concept level. But given my experience, right, if you go back and check today, majority of the embedded systems is built using Linux. In fact, we had a masterclass webinar last week about open source and Linux, right, where the speaker also mentioned the same. Right, today if you look at the majority of the embedded systems are built using Linux due to many reasons. It's open source, it's free, it's secure, and things like that, right? So I don't think you should have any kind of a doubt with respect to how much amount of knowledge you'll be getting with respect to OS. Okay, but yes, RTOS as a hands-on will not be able to demonstrate in Linux. Okay, but apart from that, OS part, it gives an in-depth coverage in 3 modules: Linux systems, Linux internals, and embedded Linux. Okay, so okay, I got it, sir. Thank you. With a smiley says Maharshi. Good question. I really appreciate somebody makes an attempt to ask such a good technical question, because majority of the times what happens, people are worried about placements. Will I get placement? I'm this, I'm that, I'm older year of pass, or I'm percentage is less. Because what happens is, we don't often understand that placement comes to people when you get technical, right? Technically, if you good at it, naturally placement will come to you. That's why I get really happy when somebody asks me technical question, right? Because if you do that one well, naturally your placement will happen. There's no big deal about it, right? That's it, folks. Any other questions, feedback? I think a lot of you have given me good feedback. Rajesh, Aranya, Manu, Chaya, thank you, all of you. Any other question? Did this webinar give you enough information for you so that you can take the right decision as you move forward? You get enough information in this webinar. Okay, Deepansh is asking, so what kind of projects will hands-on, right? So Deepanshu, in every module we have a predefined set of projects. Okay, again, I'm happy a technical question coming up. Let me quickly show you guys what type of projects. So if you guys want, go to this, go to Emertxe.com. Even though Mubin has shown, if you just wanted to get a view of what this entire course is all about, very simple URL, emertxe.com/embedded-systems, right? Here you can see our entire course material is online. Okay, we call it as a TRL, or Technical Resource Library. You can see there. So the entire module, what we'll be teaching in C, or if you want to take it to study on your own, feel free to do it, right? Because we believe in open course structure. It's nothing called proprietary we teach, right? It's all open source. Everything is here. You can see that even our IoT course contents are here. What we'll be giving in Disha workshop, everything is there. This is upskilling courses. Don't need to worry. But if you see, right, let us say, for example, the projects. Let me go to, let us say, Linux internals, OS related project. Let us see, right? So let me say Linux internals. Let us say industry project. If you click here, it will give you various projects what you will be working on: Mini-Shell, TCP/IP chat room, TCP/IP remote management, trivial file transfer protocol, network package generator. Again, if you click on this, subsequently you will find all the project details, how this project works, right? Introduction, requirements, skeleton code, how the output should look like, right? So the entire contents are there. You can go and take it up. So what generally our mentors will be doing is they'll be picking up the project from the list and then they'll be giving you to work on it. They'll explain the design requirement. They'll also help you to make a design. Please note, you need to code. They will not code. It's not like college project where you buy the source code. You need to code on your own. And you can see these projects are very much relevant in the industry. By working on this project, definitely will increase your hands-on knowledge and help you with your placements. Okay. Is it clear, Deepanshu? You can go and check emertxe.com/embedded systems. All the projects are there. Every module you can see, right? That's industry project. And C++ is there. You can see, suppose you want to know about Arduino, you can see that there is an industry project. Everywhere you go, there's an industry project. Is it clear? Okay, yeah. Thanks, Deepanshu. Okay. So that's it, guys. I think, thank you very much for your time. I know it's not easy to sit in an evening class for 2.5 hours. Thank you for asking all the questions, and then as I said, this video will get recorded, already getting recorded. We'll just do some minor edits, put it in YouTube, and we'll give the link. You can watch it again later. And if you feel that this the video will be helpful for your friends, please feel free to forward. And even this library, whichever you feel could be helpful to your friends or yourself, please feel free to explore. Okay? So I wish you I wish you all the best for your career. Okay? So take care. And then hopefully we'll be able to see you in your future webinars as well. Bye.